Let me say a good morning to the rest of the guys. Helen Apia and Poffo, Patrice, and then Kay as well, all joining us in studio this morning. Lady, good morning, because the gentlemen have said good morning.
Don't good morning me. Why saying? Don't good morning me.
What is...
or shall I say, I've given you 24 hours to rectify yesterday's mistake.
Okay.
No, 24 hours I've given you. It's been 24 hours since I returned to work. And I said yesterday's welcome was rather lackluster. Where was the champagne? Where was the croissant?
I thought we popped the champagne yesterday.
No.
It's just suggestive of the fact
it won't stick.
You've been put on notice.
It won't stick.
You still owe her.
Oh, okay.
For giving belt tip by a
So champagne, I'll bring you champagne tomorrow.
It's not champagne. The lady doesn't drink champagne.
Hey. Spokesperson, baby.
No, you. Your daughter doesn't drink champagne.
It's not about her. Well, no milk, a band in name. Justice for Mama. This one is purely for Mama. So the entire team has been put on notice. 48 hours. I want to see something spectacular.
But you realize that when you drink the champagne, it would get into your
Milky Way.
And I hope on our next, my health discussion, we can delve into it because there's ways and means.
I mean, there are ways to go about that.
Oh yeah, you express it.
You can express it. You can wait for a couple of hours, depending on how much you consume. It could take maybe 2 hours to leave the system, and so on and so forth. The champagne, more better. You understand?
But the fear is that Mommy,
give me vibe.
Mr. Producer, bring one champagne.
Mommy, give me vibe.
I mean, that's just by the by.
Absolutely.
But it's been wonderful to be back. So happy to be back this morning.
I will bring you a bottle tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful.
I will bring you a bottle tomorrow.
Oh, you're gonna bring the champagne? Okay, then I'll not bring mine.
I'll bring a bottle tomorrow.
We're not talking about sparkling wine, no. We're talking champagne. Moet Chandon.
It's okay. Champagne is sparkling wine.
No. We will not bring.
No. I'm not sure Mommy is saying sparkling.
The labor has to sweeten the banquet.
It's sparkling.
You cannot.
It's sparkling.
You cannot be bringing us what is not required. We will not torment it.
We shall not shall. Okay.
Anyways,
on a UK check, you want to.
There you go.
Right. We will get into the papers, but I mean, we were getting into some bits of conversations about vehicle imports and the Ghana Standards Authority saying that from October of this month. October of this year.
Yeah. You already started taking the champagne.
No. Well, no, I mean, sometimes the mind plays a trick or two. From October of this year.
We are in August.
Right. From October of this year, which means we're roughly 2 months away. There's the enforcement of a complete ban on vehicles 10 years old and over, importing them into the jurisdiction. And not just vehicles 10 years and over, they are also seeking to prevent vehicles that have been submerged in water, affected by floods, damaged by fire, or those with compromised chassis or safety cages, including broken, bent, cracked, or twisted structural components as well. It says they are going to also prohibit the importation of originally manufactured right-hand drive vehicles and vehicles assembled from spare parts, vehicles without speedometers calibrated in kilometers per hour, and vehicles that are more than 10 years old. All of those vehicles from October 1 of this year, Yakare Magana.
Congratulations to Ghana Standards Authority, right?
Yeah, Standards
Congratulations to Ghana Standards Authority. I think they have thought through this so well.
Yes, has gone through extensive stakeholder consultation.
I think whoever thought about this did so well, slept very well, woke up on a very good side, and decided to come up with this. I'm just being measured lately because I have been warned that sometimes certain things that I say are quite abrasive. But otherwise, I think if you could say, crab, C-R-A-B, crab.
Yeah.
Koto, yes. There's a way to take out the B and put a P there. Some people mention it as crap. They mention crap as crap. So it is just possible that the decision is crap.
Talking of crap, which legislative instrument makes their first October
deadline
legally operative? Because I've tried to locate the legislative instrument that.
I mean, the legal basis upon which a decision like that can be taken.
My brother, there are certain things called antique cars. When you go to Despite's museum, you see those cars there. You are telling me that a Maserati that is 10 years, 20 years, I can't buy that. Or the exceptions to the rule. Rolls Royce Ghost. I can't buy a Rolls Royce Ghost. I can't buy a Mustang. That is 10 years. You see, the point is that we need to be measured in these things.
So it's
it's an administrative announcement.
Yeah.
It does not substitute for an ally because I haven't found one.
And even if it's an administrative decision, it will not be as wholesale as they are wanting us to believe it is.
Maybe.
But 10 years and over.
So this is my take on the matter. For me, I believe that we need to reduce the duty on brand new cars or cars that are less than 3 years. So 3 years, we must reduce it. The fact is that these new cars,
the government gets a bit more money because the value of the vehicle is up there.
The point is that, are you looking for the welfare of the people, the safety of the people, the environment? Because all these cars are advanced cars nowadays. So you will not buy any car that has less than maybe 5 to 10 airbags. You get it? Fuel emission, properly controlled. You get it? Safety measures, high up there. So encourage people to buy brand new cars and feel safer on the road than we allowing older cars and reducing the duty on. That is where they have to rather be looking.
But how many people can buy new cars?
You can. Surprisingly, have you checked the roads lately?
You don't have.
Have you checked our roads lately? With the EV cars and the other cars coming from China.
The import duties are quite hefty, so it makes it.
They'll finish you.
But Mawina, let me touch on something.
They'll finish you.
The 10-year restriction actually originates in the Customs Amendment Act, 2020 Act 1014,
which is to be implemented by the Standards Authority.
So that 10-year restriction they are imposing originates from that act, but Section 154(3) of the same act says the minister, in consultation with the minister responsible for trade, may specify through a legislative instrument the date from which vehicles over 10 years cannot be imported. So as it stands,
but we already pay special penalties on that.
We haven't located the legislative instrument.
We pay special penalties on that.
So
I think they have to rethink it, and they have to.
I'm sure we'll delve into this properly.
It's a matter that needs
a bit more in terms of a conversation, right? Because it will have economic effect as well. Because right-hand drive vehicles,
those ones,
will be completely.
Those Voxy vehicles that are brought into the country, right-hand drive that are converted.
It's awesome, but if it has to be done, I think it has to be done well.
Yeah.
Let's not assume that because a car is 10 years old, it's not fit for purpose. Whereas there's a car that's 2 years old, that's whack.
Some vehicles were brought in which had safety concerns and all of that.
That's a fair argument to make. But then they brought in those Voxy vehicles. They told us we're not going to use it for commercial purposes. And now
it's commercial.
It's commercial.
Because if you want to enforce this, then the citizens will also start asking, why do we have the kind of trotros we have on the road in the first place?
It's a very legitimate question.
Those who trotros.
No, but so
Helen
somebody would
doesn't
say
sit
that.
in
Yeah, because if you're so much concerned about
the law
safety,
may not act in retrospect, so they're already in the system.
road safety.
No, it's
No.
because I
Patrice,
believe
no.
this is being
The law
done
will not act in
with
retrospect.
safety in
Yes,
mind,
it's
right?
a matter of.
So
No, it's
You mean the bread vans?
safety.
Yeah. Yes.
which
You mean the bread vans?
which will lead me to a simple question.
Sharp.
What is the standard in terms of transportation
in Ghana.
Where?
in Ghana?
Eish.
From private vehicles, commercial vehicles, and all. What's the standard? Because it is that standard which will cut across import of vehicles.
You have been asking about the vehicles that we brought into the country for them to use for, what do you call it, public transportation. Has the minister released them? He said it's now intercity, not intra-city.
Yeah, they were taken to Kumasi, and I think those 100 Metro Mass buses. They were taken. They were taken
She's been
to
away for too long.
Kumasi and some other places. Apparently, we were told the next batch of vehicles which will come
It's supposed to be in August.
We're in the month of August.
August and November.
So 100 new Metro Mass buses are expected
So
in the
let's call
country.
Nipe and ask him.
100 new buses are expected.
So the young man asked the question. The young man asked the question about transport.
I see the young man ask the question.
What?
He wants to go on a tangent and is waiting for me to finish. Let's go into the
Patrice,
headlines first.
No, relax. Osa, did you know Osa?
I mean, back in the day.
The Osa buses.
The Osa buses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you know King of Kings?
Hey,
Do you know King of Kings? You don't know King of Kings?
What's a king of?
Amy and Awoyomo.
Oh.
We have had national buses in this country.
Citra. They call it
What are
Citra.
you talking?
They had bus numbers.
Yes,
That they were
you are
coming
you
from
are going.
Adabaka, you know.
So,
Yes.
so for example, I'm from Kaneshi. I'm
Yeah.
going to Accra Central.
Yeah.
Bus 27,
Yes.
bus 29.
Yeah, bus 18 they come.
And
Yeah.
I'm riding on it, and I know when the bus arrives.
Yes.
We messed up everything.
Yeah, all the way to
Yeah, the
King of
Minister of
Kings.
Transport
Then they
to-
came to Kingdom Transport and so on
Yes.
and so forth. They are the
King
and then
of Kings, King of Kings,
Poku
Sojo
Transport in
Pope,
Kumasi
no.
and all that. Yeah.
And today we don't have any of that.
The bus
And
conductors are wearing bow tie.
And everybody, yes,
They're
yes,
wearing bow tie,
yes.
white shirt.
Yes.
Bow tie.
I will bow tie. And today they are not doing any of that. And we have to be
Oh,
complaining.
you asked about transport system in Ghana.
Let's do front
Did you
pages.
ask? Oh.
Let's do with the front pages
Well,
and then
please help me. You
online
asked about
online
transport
portals
system
as
in
well.
Ghana. Wait, what country?
Then
Ghana.
we'll get into. I asked, what is the standard?
Foreigner is trying to avoid you.
What is a standard?
I wanna
It's
ask
a question of
Patrice.
standard.
What his beverage of choice is this morning?
Oh, you love the smell?
Is that coffee?
No.
Oh, something cocoa.
Thank you.
Okay,
But I'm a coffee fan.
I see.
Through
Same.
and through, yes.
Uh-huh,
I'm a coffee fan through and through. But
Okay.
early in the mornings, I don't do that. This one is brown gold.
Okay, is
Yeah.
it sweetened or unsweetened?
No, unsweetened.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. You
unsweetened.
live long.
Thank you, my darling.
All right. On that note, let's
drink coffee every morning.
every single
Until
morning.
we want her.
I'll bring you coffee.
Oh, I
There's
would
this
love
special
that.
coffee that I'll bring you.
Made in
and you'll
Ghana?
love it. No, not made in Ghana.
Oh.
Not made in
Yesterday
Ghana.
we were championing the Made in Ghana agenda.
There's
No, but
something-
this one he had it in store.
something on the
Okay.
In store already. So
Is your bottle made in Ghana?
Then it's about, close to them, it's about this house.
Which one is that?
Then it's America's about
Yeah.
I'm sure
Let's
that
get
will be on the
into
front pages.
the front pages of the newspapers this morning, and as always, we'll get into the details as well. Let's kick things off with the New Republic newspaper. The Galamsey Queen of Nzima, how Angela List used state power to seize an Australian mine and turn it into a Galamsey empire. And according to the New Republic, this is part one of the saga. I don't know how many parts to this story they have.
Sometimes we are told when they do the parts, it's an invitation to treat.
I see.
So
Okay. Well, part one has landed. You can find the full details in the New Republic. Miracles found in a stolen car. Legal dragnet tightens around Dr. Baumere's spokesperson as Iyoko widens investigations, and there's a lot more unfolding on that front. We'll get into it. NPA lifts off diesel price burden as political optics meet fiscal arithmetic. I find this caption
headline
very interesting. It says political optics meet fiscal arithmetic. The New Republic, where would you typically find that? Let's see at the bottom.
That's David Tamaklo.
Yes, David Tamaklo, you're right. He's the editor of this newspaper. Good morning to you, David. Interestingly, Couch, I don't think he's too far off. When we investigate or interrogate this matter thoroughly, I think you'll find that there could be a convergence of the two ideas.
50-acre plot.
No, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that one.
Allow me.
We'll get.
CSA declares media a national security weapon, launches nationwide media strike force to crush rising cyber crime syndicates, and Ghana loses some $1.3 million in Q1 as AI-driven fraud surges. Interpol reports exposes regulatory gaps and the new arms race. Of course, the rise of AI, I can imagine, also has occasioned the rise of fraud. We'll talk about it in some more detail. Africa deserves a stronger voice in global governance, and that's coming from the Chinese ambassador. On the front page of the Daily Post, Boss Energies donates some 1 million Ghana cedis to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund to advance life-saving healthcare. Ghana successfully holds face-to-face meeting on third round mutual evaluation report. I don't know what that's all about. We can get into it. The Hawk newspaper, a lot happening on the front page here. You've got a gold board CEO Sammy James pictured here. Don't just send cash, build Africa. Sammy James urges diaspora to create jobs, wealth, and opportunity. Also, political war on global oil. MP MCE accused of hiding behind youth to fight global oil. Company alleges political orchestration against lawful mining lease. You took 200 free cages. Now you hate free chicks.
Isn't that in relation to Nkoko Nkiti?
A minister's aide accuses NP of hypocrisy over Nkoko Nkiti attack.
The moment I heard free cages and free chicks, I suspected it was in relation to Nkoko Nkiti.
Now, a threat could land you 25 years in jail. Top police lawyer warns that one angry outburst could land offenders behind bars for up to a quarter of a century. And yesterday, if you joined us on our discussion and you were listening to Patrice, you don't want to end up anywhere near our prison facilities. So watch what you say.
Right. A bit more in terms of front pages.
Yes, okay. Already you have the archives.
Yes, the archives. On the front page of the archives, TOR recruits 300 young engineers into permanent positions. 1,542 jobs created as management invests in future of Ghana's refining industry. Wisdom Edem Gomashi questions lands minister over cooperative mining fiasco. And APL, that's Africa Policy Lens, demands accountability in mining sector, calls for probe into gold board, Ghana others. Age should not be sole measure of competence. Council of State member welcomes presidential age reform. And then Bost Energies donates 1 million Ghana cedis to medical trust fund.
Like you can't be 21 and want to be president.
Where's experience? 3news.com. I'll push for inclusion of the Caribbean and African Continental Free Trade Area. That's President Mahama. He was speaking in Jamaica last night.
Oh, really?
The president wants to include the Caribbean, even on the continent. We haven't seen our way forward with AFTA. And for me, it's one of these topics that really makes me, quite sad, because we're losing out on a massive opportunity to make a lot of money. We haven't seen a matter top on the continent. We want to add the Caribbean to come and join us when we're not making headway. Let's be serious.
Wemkele Mene is from South Africa.
He's the AFCFTA General Secretary.
Yeah, the ones fighting us. Sacking all of us.
I was wondering where.
Well, you were wondering why I was
Now
going
you
with it.
understand me.
Also on 3news.com, UG justifies ongoing health sciences entrance exam, but next year it will happen after release of WASI. The University of Ghana, they've come under some heat, right, that they are doing entrance exams for science courses. Ghana Gas's 2025 performance supports government gas to power agenda. Energy Minister covered monument at Ifian Kwanta roundabout sets tanks wagging. 138 female students displaced as fire guards Islamic SHS dormitory. MyJoyOnline.com, yes, it would delay us, but democracy isn't meant to be fast. Professor Kwesi Prempeh on constitution review. Government's position has thrown a spanner in the works. Kwesi Prempeh raises constitutional review concerns. Mahama to push for Caribbean inclusion in AFCFTA as AU chairman. ECG announces power outage in part of Tema over network fault. Inusa Fusheni opposes proposal to extend presidential term to 5 years. 2 killed, 6 injured in fiery multi-vehicle crash near Bonsu Junction. Oil ticks up after sell-off as talks to end US-Iran war remain uncertain. We'll talk a bit about oil because we know that they took 2 cities off a liter of diesel. On City Newsroom, economic emancipation is Africa's next battle, as according to President Mahama. Mahama to push for Caribbean inclusion in AFCFTA as AU chair. Petrol pegged at 14 cedis 53 pesos as NPA revises fuel price floor. Separating Attorney General from Justice Ministry is progressive. Bakavomo and NPP overturns Kwesi Bonzo's disqualification, clears him for Western Regional Secretary. Ghana Web. Asiadun Ketia sends direct message to Jean Mensa after Bosman resigns. Tete goes on pension. 7-bedroom house, Adringano property, 15-acre land. Details of Miracle's frozen assets. Just in as well, they have Ioko freezes more than 29 million cedis in bank account linked to Miracle's Abuaji. Gold Board breaks silence on reports of bodyguard allegedly absconding with 200 million cedis, and Ioko freezes more than 29 million. Yes, so those are the details. Also, the horrifying accident. We were 31, but only 10 of us got out while the rest bent. SCC driver speaks in relation to the accident at Bonsu. So those are the details. What do we want to start off from? And by the way, in terms of important details, today is August 4th.
Yeah.
August 4th is a very significant day in terms of Ghana's calendar and history.
Oh, really? What happened?
Of the many things, August 4, 1974, Ghana moved from driving on the left lane to the right. Yeah, the slogan Nifa Nifa Nyanyin.
Yeah.
That
I heard it.
Also, UGCC. August 4.
Wait, what year did you say?
1974.
I heard it.
okay.
No, please.
No, I just.
You are doing the checks to see if he was born by then and was a part of the.
No, he said he had it at that time.
Yeah. No, I had later.
Oh, my bad. Patrice, forgive.
Hey,
forgive.
It used to be Founders Day, right?
No, that was
Yes.
7.
August 4th as well used to be Founders Day before.
It used to be Founders Day.
Yes,
really?
and August 4 was when UGCC,
Founders.
the first ever political party, United
Wait, where's
Gold
the apostrophe?
Coast.
Before or after the
Before,
Anyway.
Nkrumah founded
So
Ghana.
yes, the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC as well, was formed on the August 4, 1947 in Salt Pond. And so August 4 holds quite some significance as well in terms of the country's history.
Yeah.
Right?
I have a few newspapers here.
Yes, so let's get into them.
Okay, so let's have Daily Guide. It says, so I'll just do only the banner headlines. It says, UCC takes postgraduate degrees online, launches e-campus. The Spider says, Bank of Ghana blacklists 20 loan apps preying on Ghanaians. It was on TV3 News yesterday. Daily Graphic this morning says, Parliament ratifies mining agreement for 6 companies. The Inquirer says, national security on high alert. And this has to do with What did they say? As state intel corridor, smell rats in oncoming demonstration. So that is the Inquirer. Then okay, we done the New Public. The Archive says
3FM.
Tema Oil Refinery recruits 300 young engineers into permanent positions. The analyst says Mahama orders 2 cedis reduction. Oh, in diesel price. Okay, the Inside, Kwesi Pratt says Bank of Ghana warns public. Bono Ahafo Echo says Wenchi Manhene calls for improved facilities at Wenchi Agricultural Training College. Daily Searchlight, NPP ready for major demo over Sedina Tamaklo Akwetal. The Hawk says MC accused of hiding behind youth to fight global. Okay, that one you read. Daybreak also. Okay, so Daybreak has 2 interesting stories on the front page. MC accused of hiding, and then Techiman Wenchi Chiefs hail DVLA expansion agenda. So kudos to Julius Kote, CEO of DVLA, for his expansion, whatever he's doing. And he's taking it outside the country as well. So in some parts of US and UK, you don't need to come to Ghana to get your driver's license. You can have it there. And they've started the 24-hour also. So some places are operating. I hear Adenta is one of them, and then there's this place at something city, Academic City area. I hear that one too is running 24. So kudos to you, Julius Kote, for the changes you're championing at DVLA. Africa Today says Yowa and Dendi reaffirm kinship. They call for unity and education at Accra National Conference. The National Enquirer says Mahama orders 2 CD cuts in diesel margin. So those are the newspapers for this morning.
You
Great.
forgot to mention this one. Betty Crosby Mensah declares bid for NDC National Women's Organizer position.
Okay.
The name Crosby just caught my attention. Good morning, Crosby.
Crosby.
No, Crosby, Anna, is,
Oh, that's Crosby's sister, right?
no.
Crosby, wow.
I cannot say. Crosby is doing 360 these days.
Yeah.
So, cannot come around.
He's been missed. He's been missed.
Around this time. Where do we want to start? Fuel prices, because I know that the NP has reduced price floor again in relation to fuel prices.
Oh, wow.
We know that the president as well announced, amongst other things, a slashing of up to 2 cedis. But let me do this story on citynewsroom.com because it's the latest in relation to our war against fuel prices, right? The National Petroleum Authority has released new minimum expand price floors for petroleum products for the first pricing window of August, establishing fresh benchmark prices for retailers nationwide. Now, under the revised schedule, petrol has been set at a minimum of 14 cedis, 53 pesos per litre, while diesel will sell from 14 cedis, 97 pesos per litre. LPG has been pegged at 11.06 pesos per kilogram. There's also marine gas and all of that. It was different, right? It was higher than this, but I think since the announcement of that 2 cedis taken off by the government, that is almost also averting possible hike in transport fares as well, because the transport operators said they were going to increase by 30% if prices went up. Helen,
I just love how transport operators, it's like they are just waiting, you know. Any smell, any small whiff of an increase, they can't wait.
And you know
Peaky Blinders.
And you know the reason. you know the reason. We don't have a national transport system.
Of course.
So if the state controlled it, all these things wouldn't be coming in there.
Of course.
Nobody can bluff you. No, you see. So I rest my case there.
No, we have Metromas.
Who?
Metromas. We have Metromas. It's a national transport system. Metromas is a national transport system.
And they are massing up where?
Oh, they're doing intercity, not
intracity.
Yes. So what
they
we
still do intracity.
You'll be
as
surprised
much.
the places they go.
so what we lack is
Yeah.
intracity.
Even there's
Yeah.
Ayalolo,
but
Ayalolo
intercity,
buses.
Ayalulu,
Yeah.
Ayalolo is
buses
also
are still-
available. So
So my point is this.
I know.
Why don't we?
I know what you want to reference. That okay, back in the day, we
Not
used
e-
to have
I'm not even
something
going back
that's
in the
coming
day.
to Kwashiman, that's going
Yes.
to Akosokan, blah blah
I'm not
blah.
even going back in the day. Again, I say, you see, when wisdom does not prevail, a state is led astray. So up until 2026, we are telling ourselves that we can't empower any entrepreneurs to say import buses, pay only administrative costs, nothing was an duty, so that the people can be freed in terms of transportation to and fro. They contribute to your GDP. I keep saying this, yet we are encouraging people to bring in bread vans. They are cleared at the ports. Who is in charge? Bread vans, and then they are what we call retrofitted into what people sit in. Have you ever tried it? I did it deliberately. I sat in the trotro. My knees could not fit.
You
So
know,
I had to
the
take
one
my
you- the
legs
one you
back
sat
like
in
that
was
all
not-
the way. So you see, the point is, I am not comfortable because of the pressure thing. So I am not comfortable discussing these matters. So if we have a Minister of Transport and we have a Department of Transport and we have people we call people in political office, I'm just being minded by the words, because if you are not harsh at these people, they will not wake up. It's 2026. People crawl into cars instead of walking into cars. Walk into a bus, sit comfortably, turn on the AC for them. So why do we do that to our people? And yet we are happy about a transport system.
Patrice, the people who get into these trotros, and I disguise myself and get into Trotskys as well.
Right.
Sometimes you are in the Trotsky and you want to ask a question and they say, I don't know how they say it.
Yes.
But
If you want your comfort.
corner cover taxi.
Great. But to avoid all those
they
things.
just tell you off.
Yes, but to avoid all those
They
things.
just tell you off
introduce
and
the
like,
right
they
thing.
then move on. Now we know. We know that these are bread vans brought from Germany, etc.
Yes.
Brought and then they will cut the side of the thing.
Yes.
But we also know that there are vehicles that ply the Osu road that are not fit for purpose.
Homer.
Who endorses those vehicles to be on the road?
They'll tell you.
Really?
They'll tell you. It's
They
an
have
antique.
roadworthy certificates.
They'll tell you it's an antique.
Look,
What is
They
what,
pride
what,
themselves with those.
what
cars
antiquity is that meant to be
look.
be representing?
Speak to the transport minister and ask him his plans. That is what I keep saying. Where is the blueprint for our development?
Mawena has
There's
been
no
asking the
blueprint.
transport minister to bring the buses to
There
make
is
them
no
work.
blueprint.
Mawena, has he brought it?
There is no blueprint.
Has he brought them?
The bus is in
So what are the
it's
KPIs?
outside of the capital.
What are the KPIs?
Has he brought the buses?
It's outside of the capital.
And it's a shame when you talk about transport and you expand the tentacles of this conversation, it ties into so many things. The mental health of the citizenry.
Thank you.
Productivity. I mean, all kinds of things. Before
Time.
you get to work, you've had somebody
Mentally
has to take
exhausted.
about 3 cars and a motorcycle to get to work. By the time you get to work, I mean, you're exhausted.
And when you're done,
When you are done, you just want to go home, lay your head. How many cars? When it's raining, you see people queuing up. I mean, it's a lot.
Around this table, we have all traveled.
Yeah.
You just have to swipe a card and you are comfortable. Why must our situation be different?
but I thought under the auspices of Dr. Baumia, the Ghana card should have been able to do that.
Better than interchanges? Is that what you are suggesting?
Yeah, because he mentioned the 101 things the Ghana card can do, and
No. It says 1,000 things that the Ghana card could do.
I left out 1010. 1,010.
We always, my point is that we always miss the point. We always miss the
It's
point.
not about
Who is the
miss-
Minister of Transport?
It's not about missing the point, though. We're in this country where we're told that, everything Bibia be fine. As Bibia become fine.
But we keep hearing these things and we don't put them to strict proof. That is my only challenge. You hear, when the president is swearing in people into office, they hold anything and something and they read. What are the my point is that
Helen is a UK
2026.
is a UK Madam.
Trained, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
UK Madam.
Yeah.
I miss the Elizabeth line. do we
No trains. No. Me, the late doctor, the Adisco doctor, prof.
Yeah.
Who invented? Yes. Yeah. Exactly. He's passed. They introduced the what's the name? The fast train. That thing. You know, he brought it to Ghana. Met Nanado on the matter and so on and so forth. It didn't land us
$2 million on
yes.
Somebody standing
Speed
trial
train.
for it.
Speed
Professor
train.
Meyer Kumfi.
You get it, speed train.
For it.
He had the patent to that. He got somebody who had been working for 40 years in the US to be sent home because of his ingenuity. He's Ghanaian. And then America takes it, China takes it, and we are sitting here. Even South Africa here has taken it. And we are sitting here. The train system is not working, the bus system is not working. Yet you want the people to produce.
When Helen went to give birth to our darling daughter, they put what do you call a vein finder on your hand, and they found the vein. And nurses, when I complain, then they come and insult me. We can't even find vein. That's something that mosquitoes can find in 2 minutes in the dark. Today I came for violence.
I can see that you've taken Patrice's role. He says he's taking a back seat.
Really?
But I agree with Patrice on some level, because at the core of this, if the people are aware that it is the government's mandate to ensure, listen, essentially your happiness,
Helen,
you'll understand
you read
how.
in the Constitution
In
to
fact,
all of us that the government is supposed to ensure that we are happy.
Article
Did you
36(1).
not read it?
The state shall take all necessary action to ensure that the national economy is managed in such a manner as to maximize the rate of economic development and to secure the maximum welfare, freedom, and happiness.
You read it.
It's in the Constitution, fellow Ghanaians. Your happiness.
And you know
it's clap your hands.
Happiness index report. Where do we rank? It's a question. There's a report that comes out every year. Happiness index, and with Article 36, right, that you've read. The simple question I'll be asking is, how happy are you as a Ghanaian?
Exactly. You have to arm yourself as a citizen with these tools, and you walk around every morning reminding yourself that according to the Constitution, you are are you happy? Demand that happiness. It is written for your benefits.
It is the law.
Stop looking at me with those eyes.
I'm not doing anything.
Because there's no plan targeted at the happiness. If we had a plan that said by 2025, 2020, this, we're supposed to
Agenda 2057.
We're supposed to get to this
Make
level.
reference to Agenda 2057.
A country with no plan.
2020.
Yes.
We had Agenda 2000. Why two
I keep saying,
2020.
I keep saying, right?
President Kufuor brought us Growth and Poverty Reduction Strategy 1 and 2. Then we bought.
There was PAMSCAD under Gerald. There was PAMSCAD.
We brought all those things.
You see, the point I keep making
today,
is that
I'm coming.
what is past is past.
Marina, relax.
What can we look forward to? It is Agenda 2057 we can look forward to.
No, we can't look forward to Agenda 2057.
You cannot say we are looking forward to Agenda 2057. Look, GM has come. He is doing. Nkukon Kete is doing Operation Big Push. Is doing all those ones.
Those are manifesto promises.
But at least you can see also that Big Push is working.
I will disagree with that vehemently.
Your Fojoku Road is being fixed. Your Fojoku Road is being fixed.
Big Push versus Year of Roads.
Yes, another year of roads and second year of roads. Fojoku Road is being fixed.
All these things we are talking about, PAMSCAD and whatever things that the Western world would develop and generate those things for you if you don't have a national plan. That is what it is. If you're a human being and you don't have plans, people will design plans for you. So when you are home and you have nowhere to go, your friend will come and say, "Charlie, what did they do? I don't do anything. Make we go here."
Look,
then you follow your friend. And things happen.
Look, we were took into the IMF.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We are a proud nation. We will never go to the IMF.
Yes.
We're taken there.
Yes.
Somebody has come and is taking us out of the IMF.
How convinced are you that we shall not go?
And the person who took you to IMF, we are a proud nation, is refusing to come home to come and answer for his
He's going to
accountability.
visit the IMF, the office of the IMF. That's where he's there.
So-
he's going to work there.
Here's the point.
Yes, sir.
Here's the point that
Yes, sir.
the reason I say all of the others are gone.
Yes.
Right. Vision 2020 and whatever it is. When we look
Global
back,
2000.
the lesson we can learn from these are how well did we implement them? We obviously didn't. We didn't follow any of those.
Not because it was not constitutional.
Marina,
It was not
the
grounded.
question you are asking, you
You are not allowing me.
Okay, please.
No, relax.
Okay.
I will not
You're not
allow
allowing
you
me the
because
Johnny, let's allow.
Be-
Let's allow.
no,
Yes,
I will not
yes,
allow him
here's the
because
thing.
Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was supposed to be a co-chair of the UN, whatever it is, for SDGs, right? Launch State brought some multicolored. What did he do? What did he do? By the time he was leaving office, what did he do? What did he do? Tell me. What did he do?
Marina, question you ask.
What did he do? He didn't do anything. He was a co-chair for the UN SDG. What did he do?
3FM,
Aside carrying a chair in a V8, what did he do?
Right. Fair point. Right. Here's the argument that I make.
Yes,
right.
sir.
That all of those development plans, and Patrice argues and makes a very legitimate point that
Yeah.
they were not constitutional.
Yeah.
I want us to, and even it stems even from the message I shared today.
Yeah.
It's history. It's past.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
We should be learning lessons from there and be asking ourselves, okay, what is the latest in terms of a development plan that we have as a nation? Have we assessed it across the spectrum, political parties, citizens? Have we assessed it? Have we appreciated what the content are? Does it mirror the vision and what we want to see Ghana become by the time we turn 100 years? Let us start from there. Let us start asking those questions. Then we can begin to task and demand that why are we not seeing projects, development, and all other things?
Yeah.
I don't want to zero it all to political party manifestos, right? But if there's a general consensus that we've missed all of the others, we failed to, because we can go back as far as Nkrumah's day, 7-year development plan, which was
Yeah.
truncated at some point.
Where there was wisdom.
You understand?
Yeah.
We have failed to see through these development plans. Are we just going to continue to make the argument that, oh, in the past we had this, we didn't do it, we had this, we didn't do it? Or we can honestly begin to ask ourselves, let's take the document, it's a bulky document.
Yeah.
Let's ask ourselves, is that the vision of Ghana that we want to see? Then there's a conversation. Then there's a demand to tailor plans,
There's nothing
projects
wrong.
along that line.
Mauna, there's nothing wrong in interrogating what this plan has for us. But, I mean, can you begrudge anybody this opinion that they are doing that in futility? I mean, how can you begrudge Patrice because he's lived through certain plans that have been laid out, and those days have come to naught. He's lived through, and this is,
Yeah.
I'm not saying
No,
because
no,
of
no, I
the
get you.
initial
No, no, I
comment
get you.
about
I
the
get you.
1974. No, I'm talking, I mean, and not even just for Patrice, for a lot of us. We've lived through
Right.
some of these deadlines that have been set for, national development, and it's come to naught. So it's one thing to, of course, examine what this new document says, but at some point you get fatigued, and I don't think anybody can be begrudged for being disillusioned that this is yet another one of said plans where we'll see the date come and nothing will be done. I think that's where
Dr. Nemo
those two
Thompson
things
is a
exist.
fantastic
We have
man.
31 more years to
Dr.
until Agenda 2057.
Look, Dr.
Alright.
Nimoy Thompson is a very solid person. And I mean, the thinking that has gone into it, those places have been worked by Dr. Tony Edu and so many other people who are so smart and intelligent. But my point is that you can't have a plan. The Bible says that nobody can light up a candle and keep it under a bushel. You don't do that. So if it is something that we believe is good, let us champion that cause. And the reason I said yesterday that the media was one of the key hindrances to the development and growth of this country is that we bypass everything and we still speak to those political people in authority on their manifestos. Instead of asking, if you don't walk into the studio with a national agenda, let's cut it off. Why can't you put a blackout on them? Look, talk about UEFA, talk about Premiership, talk about wrestling, talk about UFC and all that. It is far, far better than discussing things of a political manifesto
3FM
that a political party has put in there
92.7.
that we can't hold them responsible for. So I'm just going back immediate past. So you gave 8 years of your life to Nanado. Things have gone this way. What can you do to him? What has been said? Because he was the father of the nation. If under John Dramani Mahama, he leaves power and things are not set the way we want it to, what can you do to him? So the point is that we give power to people. They come and toy with us because they know nothing can be done to them. They walk away freely. That is 8 years of your life. You get it? So let's be minded. If we want this country to develop, it's a very little sport. Just a little sport. Ghana can develop so fully. Ask any politician, so to speak, whether they know the value, monetary value of the natural resources that we have. Because IMF, World Bank, they will never give you a loan without a collateral. So they know what you have, but they do it in piecemeal. Today you come for this, they give you that, we want that, we'll take this, we'll give that, apportion this to this person, give this to that person. Do we know the value of the natural resources we have in this country? If we know, then we know our worth. Based on our worth, we can negotiate and do things properly. Simple. But nobody would come and tell you until you go and pick up a document and you read, hey, Ghana has got 2 million tons of this. It can, this is that iron ore. What haven't we read way back in primary school? That we use what implements to do farming today. And I tell you, if our textbook content do not change, the country would never change. The primary school textbook content. So much that a few years ago we heard that the use of the head was to carry load. You know, in the textbook.
That was an error that was swiftly condemned and was corrected.
You know, so we read
3FM
Sundays are happy days for Kwame and Aku. They wake up early in the morning, do their housework quickly, and get ready to go to
some
church.
of those things we can question, right?
Yes. You know, what's the name? Mr. Ofori is feeding the hens. The hen. Mrs. Ofori is.
But we
is feeding
grew
the
up
chicken.
on Mr. Kuma
all
and the
those,
Black Cat.
and all those things. You get it?
The name of the black cat is Blackie.
Yeah,
We
you
grew
know.
up on that.
The cat was called Blackie.
I grew up
So
reading
my
that.
point is that why are we still using machetes and hoes to dig instead of using the plows, which we read that the Egyptians used that? Is it a shadoof or something? Those methods, I mean, way back in the day. So 2026, we're still doing the thing. And you're telling me that I should laugh and smile at a Greek minister. What has he said about those tools? He's a current minister. He should point to me that in the next 5 years, 10 years, I'm trying to extricate the Ghanaian farmer of all that hassle. I'm bringing in plows. I'm bringing in combined harvesters. I'm bringing in so and so. Then we know that we are working.
Right. 053-220-0927, 053-220-0927. This is a 3FM Sunrise. We're on the newspaper review segment. This was on transport-related matters, bringing about. But on the transport aspect, and this is just a final thing I'm going to say, so that we get other details from other papers. So that 2 city, you know, a lot of the transport operators, they like to do the calculation in a gallon, right?
Yeah.
4.5 liters is what gives them a gallon. So if you work the math, that saves off 9 cities of a gallon of petrol. This 2 city slash, which we're seeing from the government as well. And so hopefully that quiets the storm as to the decision to want to increase fares, and it will give a bit of reprieve. There are still questions lingering as to which tax component this 2 cities is going to rest on, because government revenue is also very important. But nonetheless, it's very important that the government has taken this into consideration and is helping ease the burden on the Ghanaian. There are other stories, Miracles Abuaje and some other many matters. Yesterday there was an unfortunate accident which will come back to claimed about 2 lives and
That's right.
and some others. But let's get some other details, right? from some of the newspapers.
Shall we get into this story concerning Dennis Miracles?
Absolutely.
Abuaji, there are some new details that have emerged. Now, the potential crimes list of Dennis Edward Miracles Abuaji, spokesperson for the opposition New Patriotic Party, NPP's 2028 flag bearer, Dr. Bawumia, now include suspected carjacking that he must explain. Now, even though the garrulous Abuaji has carefully tucked this new crime tinge away from the eyes of the public eye, the New Republic has been finding out that during his most recent report to the offices of Iyoko in Accra, Abuaji had pulled up in a vehicle that turned out to be a stolen car on the wanted list of Iyoko. Consequently, the car was impounded. After closer inspection, it was confirmed that this car is indeed a stolen vehicle that Iyoko has been on the hunt for. So he actually, went to the offices in a vehicle that was later confiscated because it was found to be on the wanted list. So he served it right to them on a platter. If you're watching us, the recent developments there, you'll see so you can follow along what exactly has been going on.
Right. So yesterday we broke the news, right, as to the assets freeze of Miracles Abuaji. It was confirmed. Iyoko had frozen as at 16th and 20th of July, but I think that lasts for about 2 weeks, and so the High Court or the court has to confirm these asset seizures. And the fresh, the fresh details which are emerging make for an interesting, very interesting look. And I'm going to try and walk listeners and persons who are viewing on Facebook as well.
Before you touch on,
you want to make a few comments.
I think what she said is serious, because Bawumia is like buying weed with fake currency and being caught by the police, and then trying to bribe the police with fake currency.
They call that on 2 troubles, 1 God.
This one is 3.
Right. I'll return for us to make comments generally with respect to the asset freeze. The affidavit in support of that is where we are gleaning a lot of these details from. And Lord, I want this to be on Facebook as well, so that a bit of persons who want to follow can do so as well on Facebook. So in this matter, there are 3 individuals: Miracles, Dennis Edward Abuaji. In fact, it's not Miracles, but we tend to call him Miracles a lot. Dennis Edward Abuaji, who's the former executive secretary of the Interministerial Coordinating Committee on Decentralization. Then there's Gerald Appiah, who's accountant linked to the transactions. And then the third respondent is Hillside Piggery and Meat Processing Limited, a company where Dennis Edward Abuaji is a director of. Look, can we get this on Facebook, please? It's very important. So now a petition was filed in March 2026 alleging financial and procurement irregularities during Dennis Abuaji's term as the boss of that coordinating committee on decentralization. Now, Iyoko is investigating money laundering claims and causing financial loss to the state and procurement breaches in relation to that petition which was brought to them. Now, both the first and second respondent, that's Gerald Appiah, who's the second respondent, and then Miracles, Dennis Edward Abuaji, were arrested and cautioned and granted bail. Now, here's where I want to go outside of this script. Remember when he was arriving from London and he was picked up?
Right.
Iyoko statement stated that fresh details had emerged for which reason they were going to arrest him. This is the fresh detail which they say had emerged for which reason they were going to arrest him outside of the 55 million to which he was being investigated for.
Okay.
Right. Now, it's in relation to some fictitious 5.8 million cedis contracts awarded to B Maba Enterprise for a district needs assessment and Galamsey report. Now,
this is an alleged fictitious.
Alleged fictitious, right? Oh, mostly when it is when we are gleaning from court documents, then alleged vanishes from the conversation. But you're very right to say alleged. Now, Bimaba, who received the contract, made very interesting revelations to Yoko, who've been investigating this matter, that they never bid for or executed the contract. The directors of Bimaba say that the contract documents were forged, allegedly. Okay. That the Interministerial Coordinating Committee on Decentralization paid Bimaba 5.3 million regardless of all of the things they've been telling investigators at Yoko. Now, separately, I think there's a bit more in terms of Bimaba before this one comes. It's supposed to be in order. I mean, I've seen, yes. So, Bimaba then allegedly funneled the money to procure Masters and Zone Construction Limited, to which the directors are the same. So, a bit more in terms of an explanation. So the money is paid to Bimaba Limited. They have not done any work. They said that they didn't execute the contracts. They've told the Yoko investigators that the contract documents were forged. Then, whilst the money is sitting in the account, they transfer it to another company. To Procure Masters, where the directors of Bimaba are the directors of Procure Masters. So same directors of two separate companies. They transfer the money from one company to another. Now, from what we understand from court documents, the scheme allegedly was used to layer and disguise alleged stolen funds. Now, a witness has admitted to handing cash to Dennis Abuaji at his Spintex home and wiring the rest to Hillside Piggery on Abuaji's instructions. And remember, if you go back to that first slide, he is a director of Hillside Piggery. Frederick, roll on. Now, outside of that in excess of 5 million, 5.3 million, there's also a 19 million cedis in public funds, which was placed in an investment without finance ministry approval. Also a subject matter of investigation and questions and investigations. Then there is some 500,000 cedis plus, 558,000 cedis in interest on that investment, which was diverted. So they invested 19 million. Then there was 558,000 interest on that investment. Now that money allegedly has been diverted by Gerald Appiah via PNY Investment Limited with Dennis Abuaji's knowledge. That is according to court documents. So you realize that I continue to mention specifically these are court documents which we've cited here at Media General. Now, there is also a 4.3 million cedis released to GAPT for activities outside the Interministerial Coordinating Committee's mandate. The firm, GAPTE, has not accounted for the money. Roll on for me, Frederick. So Iyoko, per all of these, then issued administrative freezing directives on the 16th and 20th on July on the respondent's accounts and properties, and then he applied to the court for confirmation orders, which was granted by the court yesterday, which is our understanding. And I mean, a bit more in terms of the details as to the properties we've gotten. Now, more details are emerging as to how much monies possibly could have been in the account and all of that. 7-bedroom residential property at Latte, 2-bedroom residential property at Spintex, a residential apartment at Adringano, approximately 15 acres of land at Latte, and then 5 bank accounts. So those are the details which are emerging, which are of quite some interest to a number of people, and their conversations which are being stoked left, right, and center. I just took time to go through the details. Now I can come to the rest of the guys to get reactions quickly in relation to it. I don't know if I should start with I'll start with Patrice. Patrice.
Why me?
Oh, I mean, proceed for me.
Well, okay, so...
No, there's a reason he doesn't want to start with me. Mawina has this perception that, I'm not into false miracles.
Oh.
That you are not what?
Into false miracles.
Okay, so
No
prove
pun
him wrong.
It's a
intended.
good perception.
So prove him wrong. Go ahead.
No, it's actually a...
So prove him wrong. Go ahead.
No, Patrice. I want to hear you first, and then I'll get into other.
So you see, these are matters of state
No,
concern.
they're still under investigation.
Yes,
right?
under investigation. So there's very little I can say on this matter because Iyoko has the right to do what they are doing. Dennis has the right to an attorney to defend himself because in all these things, so for example, the car that is alleged to have been a stolen car,
And those are details from the newspaper, so completely different even from the details we've got access to from the courts and all of that.
I mean, when you're buying a car, what mechanism do you have to test whether the car is a
Don't
stolen
be
car?
too quick to speak to things you have not.
All right, okay. So I am saying you please.
Patrice.
Sometimes we have faith. Sometimes we have faith that miracles will happen. But you see, the point is, I am saying, what I glean from this miracle Sabwaji issue has to serve as caution to those who are serving in power today.
3FM.
Yes, very much.
92.7.
When you're pushing people, giving them contracts as ambassadors of a brand, when you are supporting certain events, when you are promoting certain organizations, when you're leading certain things outside your core mandate, remember that these allegations will be waiting for you at that same doorstep. So for me, what I learned growing up that my dad will always tell you is that be cautious when something happens to your neighbor. It is two things. Potentially it could happen to you, and be careful you don't fall into that same thing because you it's called folly. You've seen it and you walk into it. I am not going to comment a lot on it because I'm waiting to hear
A bit more in
from the
terms of
defense,
details, huh?
exactly, that Dennis is going to put up. These are allegations thus far. I'm not here to decry the reputation of Iyoko as in the job that they have done thus far, but I would also not be quick to say that conclusively, yes, there may be some technicalities here in, here out, but let's see how things pan out.
Okay, Kujo.
Yes, boss.
I mean, quick thoughts, or you don't want to say anything? If you don't, I'll just
for me,
go to
I
Hannah.
think it's.
And then
I mean, it is what it is. The law is the law, bruh. The law remains the law, and
Are you talking news, brother?
no, I'm a New Ghanaian,
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
Yeah.
The law is the law.
and the New Ghanaian is allergic to excuses and a lot of BS.
Wow.
Yes, we don't have patience for some of these excuses.
Right.
We feel once Yoko is mandated to do what they ought to do, they got to do what they got to do. But the burden of proof still lies on them.
3FM.
To prove
92.7.
Absolutely, the
that
state will have to prove beyond
miracles
reasonable
is-
doubts
yes,
all of
exactly.
these. And beyond all of this, right? I'm tempted to say that take the person to court. Investigations take time. That's the only yard of excuse, right? Because all of these, you have to have solid basis before you take the matter up to court.
When he decided to go on a campaign of presumption of innocence by media rotation.
That's
You understand? He decided to make a mountain out of an anthill. After Yoko came out with the matter, did you see Yoko speak to the matter again? He found himself everywhere trying to justify why he's holier than thou and why it ought to be. He said he's going to command the narrative. Now the court has commanded the assets. And it is what it is. So you can't blame Yoko for doing their work. And
I'm
I-
not sure there's blame on the part of Yoko for.
No, some people, some partisans, who forget equality, justice, they forget. When
Could we have
When
waited
the West
to
Party
have-
colors.
to have finished this
Neron de
campaign and all that?
Neron de Boanegras was saying I should have started the opinions with Helen. He's on
Oh,
Facebook.
for what
He
reason?
says, Helen, please, he said, Mawena, please start.
miss you.
Let's start with Helen.
Oh, I think
No,
the
but the
gentlemen
guy,
have
the
said-
gentlemen have started.
I think they've
So-
said it all as well. I don't have too much input on that. But I was quite surprised yesterday when I was watching Ghana Tonight to learn of these, shall I say, new developments, because I think Dennis was quite, forceful in his narrative that, all of this will come to naught. So, of course, naturally, you're going to be surprised to think, hey, there's more
to it, yeah.
there's more to it. We wait and see.
And there's even more.
But I don't know
There's a
why
lot more.
he's so determined to make nonsense of what the Economic and Organized Crime Office have to say about. Because the Deputy Attorney General came out and said, well, you came, we asked you questions, and suddenly you are out there telling everybody that we didn't ask you
It's
those
called
questions.
miracle narrative. That's what it's called. You sandwich the truth between two lies.
Could we have waited for him to carry out his political ambitions vis-a-vis?
Could we have waited?
Could you have
Yeah.
waited? Did he wait for me before he told me under the pavilion that Johnny's bite will not last?
Oh, he said that to you, Johnny.
Yeah, I said it on Johnny's
He
bite.
actually accused me of being a rented pen and being paid by government.
I don't.
No, this is a fact. No,
integrity.
Mawena,
Our job
this
is
a
based
fact.
on integrity.
I do not disagree.
Mawena, this is a fact. He was out there producing videos and content saying that myself, Franklin Kujo, Imani as a whole, we've been paid by government.
You are cousins, actually.
Yes, and that we are cousins. And that we've been paid by government
And this has nothing to do
to deceive farmers.
and this has nothing to do.
He
with
should be lucky we didn't take him to court.
now.
Isaiah 54 is dealing with
Now
him.
the farmers have been paid. What has he to save?
Why? Because our crime was that we decided to look into cocoa board. There was a lot of noise on cocoa board
Right.
when this new party took over and Dr. Abe started running the show.
PBC, their vehicles were
Seized.
auctioned after a court order. What are you talking to me about?
And as good citizens, that people have entrusted us to speak to issues, based on merit. We decided to come out and deal with some of these issues comprehensively.
My good friend Motala is dead, right? My good friend
May
Motala
his soul
is
rest
dead.
May his soul
May his
rest in
peace.
Tomorrow is actually 5th.
We stood
Yes.
under
It's a
that
day.
pavilion
It's a day.
where we park our cars, and he told me that Johnny's bite will not last.
Maybe he was just taking a swipe at you as
Me,
it was-
Johnny.
it
The-
was-
the-
it was
the-
just- it
And
was
then,
just a
he,
friendly-
and then he
a
came to
friendly-
buy
Patrice.
airtime on Onyo FM and did a low budget Johnny's bite that could not last for 6 months.
Patrice, you see, this is a guy, right, who attacked me on multiple fronts.
I
You
don't
see,
want
but
us to
I-
go
I-
on the
no,
on the
no,
tangent.
No,
of-
Mawena,
of
these
what-
are
of what-
these are facts.
Fair enough.
You see, these are
The,
facts.
the
but
only
you
the
see,
only reason I don't want us to go there
Mawena,
is
these
that-
are facts, but we are
and
ethical.
here-
We are ethical people.
Mawena,
So
when you
we-
attack, when you
as
attack
much
our,
Fair-
our
fair
integrity,
fair enough.
we will
But you
have
see,
to
he's
defend
not- he's
ourselves.
not
Mawena, if my integrity is gone, I'm a bad brand for media
you
journalists.
Absolutely.
you cannot
Yes.
eat.
But you
you
see,
cannot eat.
So these are
there's a
realities.
subject matter of
And it is
what is
connected to
happening.
the subject matter. It is directly linked to the subject matter. I've been saying Dennis Miracles Abuaje is a liar for a long time. Haven't you seen his
Oh
nose?
no, relax.
Haven't you seen his nose?
Oh,
No, this is my personal opinion. This does not reflect Media General's opinion.
Fair
But
enough.
I've been
No.
saying that.
No.
Because look,
I-
there are so many issues. No, I'm talking based on facts and I can prove it.
fair
Because he has
enough.
spoken to issues that when you fact check, they are lies.
I'm
They are lies.
wanting
These are
us to
blatant
speak.
lies
I'm
that I
wanting
can't
us to
call
speak
white black.
to the present issue as to investigations and all of that. That's that's all. Helen says she doesn't have any much to say in relation to this subject matter. Patrice says we're going to watch and roll on as
Yeah.
all of this plays on. So that's fair.
That's
those
Patrice's
are those are
friend.
fair.
That's
Those are
Patrice's friend.
those are and
So he
Johnny as
wouldn't
well
say-
as Harris Bite. So those are fair. Those are fair comments which have come
we
from
have
them.
waited?
Is he not your
I'm
friend?
coming.
No,
I'm coming.
I'm not sure
Patrice.
investigations can wait for a
Hold
person
on,
to
hold on.
fulfill their political
we have,
ambitions.
We have a caller
those I
who,
doubt.
who used to call us, who says, "Kejo baso, ejeban mi toe." Means that if the dance is going to be sweet, it's the way they arrange the drums.
If the weekend will be nice, you know by Wednesday.
Fantastic.
Agrobeda. Ifranopa.
Right, let's get a bit more in terms of details. There's a message here, Kwame Fire in Sampa Valley wanting clarification
Right.
on the 2 city fuel reduction. Is asking whether it's for diesel only or the petrol car. So it's just diesel, right? It's diesel which is seeing a reduction by 2 cities. And if you work the math, particularly those who like to do it per gallon, you'll be saving 9 cities per gallon.
And it will help a lot of industries, manufacturing companies to become
fair enough, right? So it's just diesel. Also because diesel directly is what is used by a lot of these transport operators. And so to prevent transport fare hikes, this is absorbed. Otherwise, if that happens, there is inflation, and I mean, if transport fares spirals into a lot of things, right? And so you can understand the reasoning as to why government says, let me absorb. For petrol, private car owners, you can stomach small shocks. And diesel was more expensive than petrol.
But with
than petrol as
the
well.
revitalization of Tema Oil Refinery and their production that them, it could help ameliorate the situation some way, somehow. Because if they are producing for us, then of course, some taxes in the imports that we pay on fuel is going to be cut out. So I think it's in good direction.
In a long term,
Yes, sir.
there are conversations as to having enough stored,
Yes.
right? Such that when prices are fluctuating in the manner in which we can rely on reserves. We're talking about Japan, who released at the height of the war, which is currently ongoing, and the Strait of Hormuz has been closed over. They release old stock.
America has over 30 million gallons.
You understand? America has been relying on to ease the burden. These are the conversations. We hear people talk about storage. We do. But is it in the quantity that can help ease the burden? Say a month, a week, whilst the government, then the refineries can be working to be replenishing that which we are using when prices escalate in the manner in which it has in the last few weeks and months. But
I'm not sure if we've touched on this. I know there was some conversation also about the 1 city levy as well. That's also cropped up. The D levy, as the minority culture, the Doomsaw levy, and whether or not that is significant enough for us to feel some reprieve in our pockets. I don't know whether that's also something that we can add to the conversation or something to at least ruminate on, because you and I are paying for the inefficiencies of our institutions, and that levy is still very much on there. Is that something that government can go back and think about? I know there was no sunset clause on that particular levy, but it also comes up in the discussions. We'll explore further.
Absolutely.
It was actually at some point the government decided that it would put a freeze on it. At some point, about 2-3 months ish, and then but I would wish that Eduji Tamaklo is here.
Putting freeze on. Well, yesterday I saw a video that somebody was defending something, but need I say more? I wouldn't. But my point is very simple. Look, it is very easy. We say we are 30 million people. We are 30 million plus, but
including those who were not counted.
So my point is, it's not even all the 30 million that ply the roads. Not all 30 million. Some are stationed somewhere that they never even would join the vehicle because they work and all that. So only 30 million people, and we are not saying that we can have enough fuel to keep the country running.
But Patrice, everybody is driving. Can you imagine
transport system?
Can you imagine that?
Transport system.
We
train,
have a bus.
Tram.
Look,
no train.
around this table, everybody travels.
No tram.
If we decide that we are going to make our lives easier,
right,
by having buses, whatever it is, because one bus can take about 30 people,
Sure.
35 people,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Means that I will park my car, you park yours,
Yeah,
you park
yeah,
yours, you
yeah.
park yours, Marina will park, Philip will pass, and then we'll all join one bus.
Sharp.
That's 30
With good
people.
roads.
Yeah.
With
Right.
good roads.
Good roads,
We're
so you don't
moving
walk
around.
in dust and all those things. Anyway,
Let's do sports, right?
yeah. Let me make it worth the listening. So is Ankuma is listening to us this morning? Is Ankuma? Yes.
Is
And
Nana-
Gary-
Oh, hey.
Nana, yes,
Nana Ankuma.
yes,
Was
yes.
he your mate in front of
No.
Hey,
This is my
hey,
senior
hey,
boy.
hey,
Oh,
Marina,
senior.
I
Oh,
was
see.
this morning. Why was it that when Johnny was talking about those who are parking cars, he didn't include me?
I apologize. I apologize.
Parking cars. And
I apologize. Let's properly give flowers to is Ankuma.
Ankuma, yes.
Yes. Senior guitarist,
Yeah.
senior composer,
Yeah.
senior musician,
Yeah.
senior lawyer, senior
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
senior.
And Gary
Right.
Nimako.
Oh, Gary too.
Yeah, Gary Nimako.
You know
is
Gary?
listening to you.
Should I tell you something about
Yeah.
Gary?
Briefly.
So when relax.
Yeah. We have.
Yeah, we
Relax.
have
Relax.
we have to do
relax.
sports.
When I got married
Yeah.
to Tuntum Broni Yabiama,
Yeah.
Gary gave me a check
Oh wow.
of $1,000.
Sosket.
Then I went to a bank.
Yeah.
I thought it was 1,000 cedis. When I went there, the lady at the teller said, Gary, no. You have to go to
The dollar
section
yeah.
and go and take the money. So Gary, good morning to you.
So Gary, okay, so this.
Oh, relax.
No, it has implied
Relax.
him.
No.
So Gary, I'm here to receive my $1,000.
No.
We have to do sport, and
Okay.
I'll do a few more messages.
Right.
Kwame Fire says, Mawena, we the petrol car users too are suffering, especially commercial drivers. So there are commercial drivers who are also use petrol, and so they're also asking for a bit more in terms of a look-in. Prince Brown on Facebook says, they've increased my transport at Sentio to Medina from 11 to 13 cities, even after the 2 cities has been taken from the fuel. So that certainly is one that we should be looking out for. William Nyako says, good morning, Mawena and Co. Please tell me one black nation which has been successful under the sun. Let Patrice understand that the problem blacks face in the world is not a joke. Kwame Fiajo says, is calling out the transport minister as not performing enough in terms of helping deal with transport challenges. Interestingly, they successfully complete their roadworthiness inspections annually. It's talking about some of the very deplorable buses on our roads. That's Neron de Boanegres again. So Mutala is here. He will do sports for us. Sly Danba says he's watching us live from Kwabenya, and hope everyone is blessed this morning as well. Let's get into some sports right now for you here on the show, after which we'll return with the big conversations here on the 3FM Sunrise.
Satellite have returned home, and their head coach Maxwell Konedo has been speaking. New media signing Safiano has also been talking about his move to the club, and Chelsea's new signing Danny Welbeck reacts to his transfer to the Blues. Let's settle for the details where the Black Satellites have returned home after a disappointing campaign at the 2026 Wafu Zone B Under 20 Championship in Yamoussoukro, Cote d'Ivoire. Led by head coach Maxwell Kunedu, Ghana's U20 side exited the tournament at the group stage after failing to record a single victory, finishing third in Group B. Meanwhile, head coach Maxwell Kunedu has called for a comprehensive preparation program ahead of next year's Under 20 Africa Cup of Nations, insisting that Ghana must improve its international exposure if hopes to challenge for the continental title is really alive.
I think definitely we will not present the same team during the Cup of Nations. Yeah, we augmented the squad in the course of the preparations. We know Ghana, we have a lot of good youth players. That's why I said we reorganizing ourselves. Different for this tournament, we just had to maintain the local boys and use them to see what they can also offer. Yes, it's true. Some of them have demonstrated that if they get the chance, they can really, prove what they've got. So I'm happy for some of the players. They did so well. We never knew some of them could, come up.
That is Ghana's Under 20 head coach Maxwell Kunedu. Moving on, Black Stars goalkeeper Benjamin Asare says he is determined to justify the confidence Ghanaians have placed in him, insisting that this is the moment for him to prove that he belongs to the highest level. Speaking in an interview with 3 Sports about his career and responsibilities as a professional footballer, Asare stressed that football is his full-time profession and that he must continue to demonstrate his ability whenever he gets the opportunity.
So far, I think as at now in Ghana, I'm a footballer, and this is my work I'm doing as a footballer, because apart from football, I don't do any work at all. So I think this is the time I have the right decision to prove to the Ghana people that yes, I can make it or I can do it, because once it's my job, I must prove it anywhere. So because of the love and the way they cherish me, every place I go, they have fans there. So me too, I think it's better good for me to prove myself in the national. As at now, just expecting more, because as at now I cannot say I can expect this or this, but we have a life, we have everything, so just expect more from me.
Black Stars goalkeeper Benjamin Asare speaking there. To another Black Star, but this time to a legend, Asamoah Gyan. He believes that the media has a key role to play in boosting attendance at the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. According to Ghana's all-time leading top scorer, greater collaboration between journalists and technical stakeholders is essential to increase in public interest and filling stadiums during the tournaments. Asamoah Gyan speaking there. But it's time for us to bring you our WAFCON brief, and it's sponsored by GoFills Ghana.
Champions are not made on match day. They are shaped by belief, opportunity, and the support of those who stand beside them every step of the way. As football takes center stage around the world, Goldfields proudly continues its more than 2 decades of support for Ghana football, backing our national teams and helping grow the game. Goldfields, creating enduring value beyond mining.
3FM.
Remember that champions are not made on mad day. They are shaped by belief, opportunity, and the support of those who stand beside them every step of the way. As football takes a center stage around the world, GoFills proudly continues its more than 2 decades of support for Ghana football, backing our national teams and helping grow the game. Go Black Queens, go GoFills, champions of women's football and inclusion, creating enduring value beyond mining. That is what GoFills is saying. And to the women's AFCON, a lot is happening in there, where host Morocco have secured a place in the quarterfinals following a hard-fought goalless draw against Senegal. The result was enough for the Atlas Lionesses to finish top of Group A, while fellow North African side Algeria also claimed second place after defeating Kenya to end the group stage with 6 points. Attention now shift to today's crucial Group B fixtures. Defending champions South Africa face a must-win encounter against Burkina Faso. Bayana have managed just 1 point from their opening 2 matches and must claim all 3 points to keep their quarter-final hopes alive. Even then, they would also need another result to go their way. In the other Group B clash, tournament dark horses Ivory Coast would also take on Tanzania in what promises to be a winner-takes-all contest. The Ivorians are set on 4 points, while Tanzania have 3, setting up a decisive battle for a place in the last 8. After letting the Togo lead slip against South Africa in their previous edition, that is Ivory Coast, they would be eager to avoid another costly setback and book their place in the knockout stage. Let's now cross borders and go to England, where Manchester City new manager Enzo Maresca has made it his ambition for the new season clear, insisting that winning trophies remain the club's ultimate objective. The Italian says while performance and progress are important, success at the club, like Manchester City's stature, is ultimately measured by silverware.
We're going to try to do our best to win titles this season. Premier League is one of the titles that we need to try at least until the end. In terms of a chance, I think in this moment it's too early. What I like is the day by day to help the players to improve, because if you improve players, the team improve, and this is important.
Enzo Maresca there speaking as the new Manchester City manager. Still in England, Chelsea's new signing Danny Welbeck has explained the thinking behind his move to Stamford Bridge, saying the opportunity was one he could not turn down. The experienced forward also took time to thank everyone at Brighton for the support and contribution throughout his spell at the club, describing his time there as a memorable chapter in his career.
It's been an incredible journey, and what a great chapter for me. And I hope for everybody else at Brighton Football Club as well. I hope they've enjoyed it just as much as I have, and I hope they know how special they are to me, because I really feel the love, and it goes both ways too. One final word. What a Friday. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I leave this place with nothing but good vibes, good energy. It's been one hell of a journey. The special relationships will remain forever. Players, fans, staff, players that are not here anymore, staff that aren't here anymore. Thank you so much. It's been an incredible chapter of my career.
That is Danny Welbeck there, and he becomes the first player to play for Manchester United, Arsenal, and Chelsea, and that is a big one for him. Let's finish off with some news coming from Glasgow, where the National Paralympic Committee of Ghana has dismissed reports claiming that some members of Team Ghana went missing after the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. The committee says the reports are inaccurate and unverified, explaining that athletes are returning home in batches and urging the media to rely on official information to avoid damaging the reputation of Ghana's athletes and the country's international sporting image. Goldfields has a message for all Ghanaians. They say from the Black Stars, the Black Queens, the Black Challenge, and the Women's Premier League, Goldfields has remained committed to the growth and development of football in Ghana, supporting Ghana football since 2005. Goldfields Ghana proudly stands behind the Black Queens, the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, that is the WAFCON, and wishes them continued success as they continue to inspire the nation and make Ghana proud. Goldfields creating enduring value beyond mining. Now this morning, Patrice Megashi has a message for a few of you who are listening. He says, a shout out to Kofi Somwa of Sofani GH, Alaji Isa Mahama, Samuel Ewu, Duke Anthony Asian as well. That's all by way of sports here on 3FM Sunrise. My name is Mutalai Akubu. There's a lot more on all our socials at 3 Sports GH. The show continues right after this.
No, I'm not suggesting. I'm not suggesting.
Until somebody came and said, Helen, let's go and make it.
I hope this microphone you disable it.
No, this.
We're having a few issues. I don't know. Are we still audible?
I think we should stay on this and then we swap the middle one more.
Okay, no problem.
That because if we move this one, it gives a bit of a noise.
Surely.
Oh no. So we're talking fuel prices this morning. It's one of our many big conversations. What I'm going to have us do first off is let's listen to what a cross-section of drivers, right, make of the slash. At least a 2 cedi slash, which is effective today, right? 2 cedis off every liter of diesel.
After I'll talk about the demonstration. Mine is on the demonstration.
Which demonstration is this?
Oh, the one that is coming up.
Slated for the 6th.
Slated for the 6th.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough. We'll get into that. But we'll get into the big conversations in relation to fuel first off. And here's what a cross-section of transport operators have been telling the news team following the announcement of that 2 cedi slash.
Me person say so oyisua enu kwa na oyisua na say omuyi ayi nioma so.
The 2 Ghana cedi subsidy is a good initiative and we appreciate it. But if fuel prices is reduced while other prices of spare parts, engine oil, tires and other things we spend money on remain the same, then what's the real benefit? Fuel is only one part of our expenses. The government should look at other costs too.
Na say lord freno sa na ebegina na say beti niema no so dia any problem na mo so beti so na say on ti niema so dia and tem be the confusion ebeba
kan dey say ko yisu 2 cedi dia kan dey any beje emumba lord freno dey so mo hwe no mo ye dey o mo ye bibi hu man.
The 2 Ghana cedi subsidy is not enough. We appreciate the effort, but the cost of living is too high and fuel prices are affecting everything we do. We want the government to reduce the fuel prices further because this amount alone will not bring much relief to drivers.
The 2 cedis is too small. It's too small for us because drivers are suffering. They are talking about this thing, the fuel. So better to count down than the 2 cedis. 4 cedis if you like it. Because we are waiting for the government to say something for us before you can say something about the transportation.
Charlie, for them like 5 cedis, because we did go through a whole lot in this country already. Secondly, you say before do sales give on our bosses, the car owner before pay commission. Commission now they higher for the boat up top, for instance. So if the fuel price go up like that, just imagine how much I go fee. Do sales, pay fuel, pay my boss, pay myself. So at the end of the day, be something small pay they get, they go house. So we know say things may complicated, the world and things, but if we sit up, give we the beg and war.
So those are cross-section of views, right, from transport operators who say that 2 cedis is good, but it is too small. And they would have wished that the reduction was more. Do we agree or we feel 2 cedis is enough? And in fact, this is just diesel operators, right? Persons who use diesel,
That's
machinery
right.
which use diesel. Petrol, crowd, bobu, right? And so these are persons who use diesel. And it's very important that I go over this point again. So that has seen prices slashed. I don't want to use prevailing pump prices, right? But if we are to use the NPA's own price floor, then it will mean that diesel's price floor now is 14 cedis, 97 pesos. If you add 2 cedis to this, that would have been 16 cedis, 97 pesos. And that is almost 17 cedis. That's just 3 pesos shy of 17 cedis. That's what it is. So for them to argue 2 cedis is a bit small. I mean, it's fair game, right? Because everybody's in their business to make money. and to make considerable profit. But a gallon per this slash will mean that you're saving 9 cedis off a gallon, because 4.5 makes a gallon. And so we'll get onto the phone lines and we'll speak to some other persons. But we know what the troubles in relation to fuel prices have been. As of this morning, prices are hovering around $80 per barrel and $84 for Brent crude in particular. $84. 84.470. I'm on Trading Economics. It is not the highest of highs since this war started.
Okay.
But it's still high. Because as at January, February of this year, Fred, roll on for me. And I want to just help people appreciate where we are at. As at January of this year, all the way through to February, diesel was selling at 12 cedis 53 pesos. Because Brent on the world market was below $70 per barrel. So fast forward to now, 1771, before the slashes were introduced yesterday. That's how much, and these are OMC prices, not price flow. So this is OMC price that were showing to persons who can catch us on Facebook, because we're streaming live on Facebook. I handle 3fm927. You can as well send us a WhatsApp message, 053-220-0927. 053-220-0927. I'm just trying to walk us through what the trajectory has been. So to have moved from, particularly for petrol users, you were paying 1046. As at March, they're about 1046 for a letter. And then suddenly it spirals to 14, in excess of 14 cedis in the same year. The explanation is partly in the graph before this one as to how world market prices have played out.
That's right.
At some point, it was $114 per barrel. That inarguably.
And in fact, I want to see something, Mawan, and if you're watching us on Facebook and you're following, so that was around April, May?
Yes, April, May, June.
June. Can we see what the prices domestically looked like at that time? So April, May, June. Still, that's lower, right?
No, not this one.
So
no, the one with the fuel prices.
Fuel prices. So the one after this one. Let's go.
Yes, this.
So we saw it at $114 dollars, hovering around April, May, June, and okay, you can see that
prices were
not good at that time.
Yeah.
But you notice that if you look at March, April, where you've got diesel at 17.1, and now you've got it at 17.7. Oh, I'm not sure where that feedback is coming from.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where that phone call is coming from, but
17.71.
17.71.
Trying to draw our attention to something with diesel prices at 17.7, even though we have the oil prices a bit lower. So that doesn't entirely tell you the situation. You don't only look at what's happening on the world stage to determine what's going on, domestically, because there are other factors in play. I mean, higher global crude oil prices will generally lead to higher fuel prices in Ghana, but that's only one part of the equation. You'll also be looking at issues such as we import our fuel in dollars, and that has to also reflect what the city is looking like at the moment. The exchange rate.
Exchange rate.
The exchange rate, right? You'll also be looking at whatever taxes and levies have also been slapped on domestically. That also will indicate what is going to be happening. And of course, the OMCs themselves, they'll also be adding their operating costs and margins, of course, before selling it to you and I. So we look at it holistically in this discussion. So that, looking at the world crude prices alone will not give you that full picture. And I wanted to draw that distinction there if you're wondering why, okay, when it was 114, these are the prices we're seeing, and at 80 something, we're seeing it mimic now. There are other factors at play. I hope I'm making some sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, what you say is partly to explain why we're around $83 per barrel, thereabout, and we saw prices inch towards 1771. The exchange rate, the city, in fact, has been on a steady decline of some sort. The performance we saw starting of the year, late last year, where we were hovering around 10 to a dollar. We're now around 11.8 something.
Aha. And that is why you see that even I'd say at March, April, there would have been some more resilience in the city. Maybe April not so great at that time, but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so 11.70.
That also cushions the blow somewhat. Cushions the blow. The performance of the city cushions the blow.
Because at that time, the city relatively, we saw it rally back towards 10 point something at some point around that time. So prices reached the peaks of $100+ per barrel, but because there was a rallying of the city at some point,
exactly,
the impact was less.
You can imagine if the city was performing as it's doing now, and we had that $114 per barrel.
In the regions of 20,
exactly,
20 something.
Exactly. And that's why I said it's good to also look at it holistically to actually figure out why is it that you and I are paying some more at the pumps, what we should be demanding of government, what we should be asking from the players in this space, the relevant questions as to what really can be done to ensure that stability. Because, as soon as the prices start to hike, you have transport operators eager, itching, very ready to also slap their fees on it, making it more expensive for you and I to simply get home and enjoy our rice and imported chicken, frozen chicken.
You're bringing back that conversation.
No, it's all tied together. The whole thing is tied together. And so that's the distinction I wanted to make. I was just intrigued looking at the graph. Immediately, that stood out to me as to how we can expand the conversation some more.
Very, very important aspect you introduced in the conversation, the role of exchange rates as well in the prices that was seen. This was to have been what the current pricing ratio would have been until the intervention by government, particularly for diesel. That has also seen a rollback, because this morning we've just been providing details as to how NPA has revised the price floor again, and we're seeing a drop in the price floors. And kudos to a number of the OMCs as well. Star Oil.
Star Oil. Big up. Yeah, Mr. T.
Yeah. So they've been trying to. Their competition is good, right?
Absolutely.
Star Oil, Goil.
Yeah.
They've been on some steady competition, seeking to cancel each other out, and the customers have been the beneficiary for it, because these days when the price floor is announced, both entities are seeking to sell at the price floor, which offers the Ghanaian a bit more. Right? In fact, there's been even conversations as to the price floor not existing at all, but the NP has insisted that it is good for businesses so that someone doesn't cut the legs of others. And so we will have a conversation in relation to that some other time. But in relation to what we're seeing, it's great that those two, inarguably the two leading OMCs in the country now, number one and number two, consistently at each other's neck, canceling each other out. Is it?
Number one being who?
I think Goa returned to number one somewhat this year, and Star Oil went to number two. They've been interchanging for a while.
It's quite relative. When we look at the operations, it's quite relative.
Yes, Goa is
You could seed it.
You can compete with God.
Yeah, you could seed it to, because God does a lot more other things like supplying to the gold mines and then subvention to government and all those kind of things, fuel coupons and all and all and all. So if you want to look at it technically, number one would be Star Oil. Technically, if you want to look at it. Yes. Star Oil would be number one.
Yeah, because they do strictly the consumer, right?
Yeah, strictly retail. God is doing so many other things, so those supplies and all those things gives them a little edge, but that's it. So for me, my point is this. It got to a point in time in this country when we said that we're going to use some mechanism to calculate the oil prices. So when it's on the world market, because we import both crude and finished product, definitely these are the things that we'll be seeing. It doesn't mean that we cannot produce. And again, I'm excited that we have Tema Oil Refinery back on track. Congratulations to the management, the staff, and the board and all that for what they are doing. I think some of these things we need not even mention, because that is what, like I said, the modus vivendi, that is what ought to be, not what modus operandi would want us to do. We talk about fuel every now and then. So a myriad of issues that you can discuss. Number one, if we had a rapid, good, properly managed transport system, it wouldn't be on everybody's neck that, hey, it's gone up, it's come down, it's gone up, it's come down. No, it wouldn't be so. If we managed the production of oil in this country properly, we wouldn't be having these issues and these challenges. Some private people are excited about it because they would have to import finished products and sell to us. Oil that we drill offshore
goes out of the country.
Sharp. Some of them without no way bill. Someone will say, prove it. These are some of the things that you cannot prove, but you know. Somebody tell you on ground. Accountability.
A lot happens at their depots.
Yes, accountability.
Yeah, a lot happens at their depots. Remember, there was an incident, not to cut you, Patrice. Yeah. There was an incident that the OSP made a publication.
Right.
And shortly, yes, I mean, into the shady dealings at the depots. And shortly after that, I think about few hours later, they pulled down the publication. I mean, for those of us who had already captured it, we had already captured it.
Sure.
But it goes to speak to some of the issues that exist. And we are talking about over $500 million losses.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah. And the reason Alcoa
on a regular basis.
On a regular basis.
Yes.
And the OSC made that publication and pulled it down.
Yes. And some of us have never really understood why, but looking at the situation at the time, that was when the Strait of Hormuz had been closed. There was fuel crisis, and so I don't know. I can't speak for people who work at the OSP.
Why that publication
was pulled down?
Was put out there and then pulled down.
You know, we need to focus on our storage.
Right.
That's the key thing.
Helen. Perhaps before we go to Mr. Nsia, who's Executive Director for the Center of Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, he's joined us via the phone lines. You want to take a bite, or you've been sharing a few thoughts with him? Is he on? Yes, he's on.
Yeah, but most definitely. And there was an interesting headline in one of the newspapers today talking about this price reduction, and I think it had been couched this way: is it political optics meets fiscal management? And so I'm hoping from this conversation we'll be able to see if there is in fact a marriage there and what that actually looks like on the ground, because we can't have these conversations without also examining some of the rhetoric that is out there, that this is also to do with the optics and what that looks like, and what is the consequence there of making it look good outwardly if internally we're going to struggle moving forward.
Right, we're all going to engage Mr. Benjamin Nsia. He's the Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy. Mr. Nsia, good morning to you, and thank you very much for joining us here on the 3FM Sunrise.
Good morning, you're welcome.
On the face of it, it looks like great intervention by government to help ease the burden on the average Ghanaian, because this stops transport operators from increasing their fares. At least that's what we think, right? But how do you see it, this intervention by government?
So I think that the conversation has been one-sided because the assumption is that it's going to ease the burden on CTOs or commercial transport operators, and also some private users of petroleum products. But these are not the only the beneficiaries of some of these interventions. I think that is also going to positively impact government's macroeconomic stability because higher price of petroleum products will affect inflation. And when that happens, it means that the cost of credit in future is likely going to be higher, causing other economic distress to central government itself. Higher price of petroleum products also affects government's fiscal target, especially revenue, because of the experience in 2022 when the Russia-Ukraine conflict started. We realized that consumption of petroleum products declined, and government's fiscal policy within the petroleum downstream is pegged on consumption. So when your target is that you're expecting about 12 billion Ghana cedis from energy sector shortfall and the repayment levy based on a certain consumption paradigm, and then the consumption declines, it means that the central government is also likely going to lose this revenue. Beyond that, also, as I indicated, has other impacts on the government is expenditure, because government also procures fuel for various services or various activities. So when the price of fuel price of fuel is also increasing, especially diesel, it also affects central government expenditure. Sometimes increasing expenditure at levels that may create certain deficits or fiscal deficits at some of the firms and then institutions. So it is not only to ease the burden on the CTOs or the private consumers, but central government itself is to ease burden and ensure that we maintain macroeconomic stability for most of the macroeconomic indicators. So that is the reason why some of these interventions are needed.
So you see it as a long game, a chess move of some sort, because of the rippling effect of increased transport fares and its resultant effect on inflation and others. Because the argument, at least from one of the papers which we've been discussing, is whether this is for the optics or it is indeed government seeking to save the ordinary Ghanaian. But you're making the argument that, look, if you look at the government overall objectives in terms of the economy even, this, even though they may lose some revenue in the long run, will serve as an important bridge towards the objectives they've set for themselves as against whatever potential revenue they could lose within the next 1 month.
Yes, but I mean, revenue loss, we also have to critically look at which revenue are we talking about. So government, I've seen a paper or I've seen an analyst mention that these are tax cuts. So the petroleum downstream, there are various forms of levies and taxes and margins. So if you look at the special petroleum tax introduced in 2014, government did not touch it because it only needs an amendment in Parliament to be able to relax it or scrap it or maybe remove it in total. If you take the Energy Sector Levy Act with various amendments and repeal, government did not touch it or did not touch that particular act on the build-up. What it also means is that the central government is not losing revenue. The regulator is likely going to lose revenue. But I think that we've created buffers enough. If we are very efficient in the sector, this shouldn't be a problem because we've created some of the buffers enough that we could even sustain for 5 months. if you take the Auditor General report of 2025, the report specifically worked on MPA. MPA has specialized audits by the Auditor General. Most of these funds that have been touched, I mean, all of them utilize excess income or surplus income. So if you take UPPF, for example, which is the highest that has been touched with 90 pesos per litre, in 2022, when we engaged MPA, it made a surplus of 320 million Ghana cedis. In 2023, it made a surplus of 700 million Ghana cedis. In 2024, it made a surplus of 1 billion Ghana cedis. Even in 2025, it made a surplus of about 900 million Ghana cedis. So what it means is that the consumer has been overpaying for some of these regulatory margins. So if there's going to be an intervention, I think that some of these surplus, if available, if we've not misused them, they should be able to create a buffer. They should be able to sustain the market for at least 4 months. Beyond the UPPF, it also has primary distribution margin, and sometimes it makes in excess of 200 million surplus. So year on year, making these surpluses, fuel market margin has been making surpluses, and then bus margin also for maintenance of bus infrastructure expansion also sometimes make some surpluses. Even if you don't make surpluses, actually, the media, you may be aware of what bus uses this margin for, but for some of us in the industry, we are not actually enthused about its operationalization and its governance structure in terms of how BOS utilizes this margin for infrastructure maintenance. So these are not direct levies to government. These are levies that the consumer pays to ensure that we get quality products on the market. And there's even debate as to whether we should pay them or not. So if government decides to relax them, I think that there are enough buffers to take care of this. But beyond maybe 4 months is when I think maybe the government may come in to assist. But I'm also hopeful that in the coming winters, prices on the international market are likely going to relax. And maybe by the month, government will now reintroduce or bring these levies or margins back onto the petroleum price build-up.
Right. I'm going to hold you on the line and then get on to Zoom as well, because Dr. Riverson Opong, who is executive officer of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies as well, has joined us via Zoom for a quick chat in relation to this subject matter. And then afterwards, I'll come to you on the way forward, right? Because we cannot continue to make arguments about how we're expecting global market prices to descend so that we can benefit. You've just spoken about the bus margin, which is supposed to primarily deal with storage. How many or how much are we storing for days like these? Are concerns and questions being asked by Ghanaians, even as we debate whether there's a need for continuous payment. But Ms. Opong, appreciate you, Dr. Opon, rather. Appreciate you as well for joining us via Zoom. For you as oil marketing companies, I mean, yesterday I was reading the BDC saying that they were going to proceed to sell spot prices to you because of the fluctuating nature of the product on the international market. How are you on your part dealing with this vis-a-vis customer complaint as well? Because they turn up and then the price on the board is going up and they've been told that prices are to be reviewed every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, that's wrong, operationally wrong. It defeats the purpose of our weekly pricing window model, all right? And we have had meetings with Seaboard and the MPA, regardless of the fact that nobody, there's no punishment or penalty for anybody who does that in the airline now. That doesn't still guarantee the fact that it's wrong and it defeats the purpose of the 2 weeks window. Other than that, let's open the windows. Let anybody decide any price at any day, any point in time, and sell. Right? So
your call has been put on hold.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, I heard the feedback.
Yes, there was a feedback on the phone line, but not on Zoom.
All right, sure. So it's totally wrong And we're going to hold a lot of meetings this week with MPA and CBOT to address that. Because for the first time in history, for a long time, you saw OMCs changing prices within a day, within a window, within weeks, which is wrong. Because in the first part of the war in July, when fuel price international market went up, when even the BDCs were increasing the prices, no OMC increased the price by a cent. But the reason why the OMCs are increasing their price today is that they are tired of consumer support and no industry support. All the argument for the past 2 weeks has been consumer support, no industry support. And that's why you're seeing it. And it is a reality on the ground. And like I've said many times, I personally am happy that my members have reacted in anger of whatever is happening. And it's high time we had a long chat with the BDCs and the MPA to say that, hey, are we keeping on the 2 weeks pricing window, or we are going as the day goes by?
I know that there's been plans of meetings with the NPA, but for you, I mean, I'm getting the indication that your members are not pleased with the suggestion as to increases on the spot amongst other things.
It doesn't support anybody's business. Spot purchase does not support anybody's business. You understand what I mean? You understand? Because indeed, if I'm buying today to sell tomorrow, how does that support my business if the replacement cost of the product is volatile? There's volatility in the market, but it's not affecting us on the daily business on the daily basis as a country. You understand? We don't have refineries here to determine those FOB prices. In countries like Europe and America, they have the right to do that because they have the spot purchase from the refineries. But in Africa or even in Ghana, where we import most of our products, we expect some level of stability in pricing because the fuel that is in tank today was not bought today. You understand? It was bought, I mean, some time back. And especially within a window, it's totally wrong to be changing prices. That one is very difficult for me to convince around that.
Right. I'm going to hold you on there because thankfully we've been joined in studio as well by the CEO of the National Petroleum Authority and that concern that you raise. What we understand is that there will be series of meetings to try and have that addressed as well for you and also for the Ghanaian consumer as well. But like I said, thankful to have in studio the CEO of the NPA as well, who announced yesterday that intervention by government, which has resulted in all of these conversations. Honorable Gordon Eduji Tamaklos, join us in studio. And good morning to your trust at all as well.
Egbeta, good morning, and good morning to my senior brother here. It's been a while since I joined you in studio. I appreciate the opportunity. And I want to say good morning to your cherished listeners and viewers online. I noticed that my brother, Dr. Riverson, was on the other line. I was listening to him. Is he up now?
No, he's still on.
Okay.
He's still on.
In fact, I had already scheduled a meeting with him and the Seaboard people. And the meeting was supposed to have happened yesterday. But last minute, I got an indication from him that he won't be available. So we're looking at possibly having the meeting today or tomorrow. There are serious industry concerns that we are all minded to have it addressed. I need the support, the cooperation of people like Riverson to ensure that we keep the downstream stable. So some of the conversations and the concerns he had raised, I wouldn't want to speak to them directly here because we have already scheduled a meeting to judge and find middle grounds. I'm with him on the platform already, and those concerns he had raised them. So we'll take the time, we'll show leadership, and I strongly believe that with calmness, we will be able to find solution to some of the problems, as it were, listed above. What I want to emphasize is the fact that leadership requires, anytime there is crisis, you try and find solution. You have the option of finding excuses and you can also try think outside the box. You will not get perfect solutions or perfect outcomes, but you would ultimately want to make life conditions a bit easier for our people. And that's basically the drive, the motivation of President John Dramani Mahama. I remember as early as Saturday, my sector minister, and I salute him, the Honorable John Abdullahi Janapo, reached out to me that there are firm instructions from the president that we do something about the escalating fuel prices. And so together with the leadership of my sector minister and my board, this is what we've come out the last time. So the template exists, and we are trying to see the best. As for the industry concerns, I wouldn't want to
delve into those matters in the open space.
I just want to assure the people of this country that President John Dramani Mahama is determined in his caring nature to make things here easier. Look, let me put some few numbers out so that when we look at the numbers, we can judge for ourselves that in the circumstance, what would situations be?
92.
Before the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran, you know, refined product is measured in metric tons. So a metric ton of diesel was going for $794. Please write it. $794.
$794 captured, yeah.
Now the premium, so the supplier, they have what they call supplier's premium. The supplier's premium, what goes into the supplier's premium and its determination includes, but not limited to, vessel availability, insurance that you pay for the movement of the product, among others. It was about $50. That's the premium. And at least we all have an idea of what premium is. Good. Now today, as we speak, the same metric ton of diesel as at 29th July was going for $1,333 from $794. That's how many percentage? Almost 100%. The premium that used to be $50 is now $220.
Because they have to cross that
the risk,
that's
the risk and all of those things. So it is now $220 from $50. So the dynamics today has completely changed. Complete change. So let nobody put another narrative. It's the numbers, it's the data-driven conversation. Like I said, before the war, it was $794, premium of $50. Today, premium is $220. A metric ton is 1,300. That's twice the price. So ordinarily, today, a liter of petrol or diesel should be 28 cedis per liter.
Because of twice, we're seeing almost twice the cost since the war began.
Now, the saving grace is the relative stability of the city. Yeah. Because you see, if you do the pricing determination, the FOB, the city component, and the tax component. Now, the tax component has been relatively constant. Because remember that even with the 1 cedi, at a point, diesel sold for 10 cedis.
10 cedis.
Yes. So the impact has really not been from the tax end because it has been stable. It is the exchange rate and the FOB. The FOB contributes almost 60%.
61, I think.
So if you put weights to this, you see that immediately there is a change in the FOB. The cascading impact is always what? Bigger. That is the state of affairs. And this state of affairs is regardless of whether it's Edwiji who is saying it, or Egbeta, or my brother K.
92.7.
But for the stability of the city, diesel should be selling at 28 cedis per liter. In fact, if the city depreciates to even 15 cedis to a dollar, we will be selling diesel for 28. So the current managers of the economy, what effectively they have done is to bring the stability of the city. The joint efforts of the finance minister, Atufosin, the CEO of Gold Boss, Ami Jemfi, the governor of Bank of Ghana, Johnson Esiama, have together helped in providing relative stability to the Ghana city. Look, let's be factual here. The city at a point went to 17.20. By 2022, that's how high it went. Today it's doing a little over 11.56, 11.78 thereabout. How much reduction? Massive. Yeah. And that is what had helped in bringing this stability. Now, when, around June, early June, when the ceasefire was in place,
we saw prices come down.
Yeah. The FOB dropped from $1,200 to almost $800 to $900, only for the war to resume. And then I said by 29 July, that's just last week, Wednesday, a metric ton of diesel was going for $1,333. Huge jump. So cumulatively, this is what is impacting the conversation. But the president said, listen, let's find a way. Leadership is about solutions, not excuses. Thinking outside the box. And I say this again. Look, Egbeta, you people, you are the journalists. Interrogate the situations. Okay. But for the intervention, for the leadership of President Mahama in setting up gold board, this economy would have crashed. This economy would have crashed. You know why? For 6 continuous years, year 1, year 2, 2017, up to 2022, we took Eurobond alone, $11 billion. Okay, $11 billion of Eurobond. In fact, if you add the Franklin Templeton bond of 2.25, that's $13 billion on bonds in 6 years. So the Ghana cedi was on performance-enhancing drug, Nandrolone or Viagra. It was the Eurobond. And so if you look cyclically, by March, April, they would be doing the road show for the Eurobond.
Yeah, that used to happen. Road shows, and then we get some financing.
So by which time the bonds will come and provide stability, because the major multinationals would have then decided to repatriate their profits. So they need huge sums.
So there's pressure on the currency.
Pressure on the currency. And then by August, September, Christmas purchases, they'll start making orders, further. So you can see when
the pressure comes around the currency.
By December, most of the companies, they are doing their financial statements, they are closing their books. By March, April, May, they are started repatriating. So you can see the cyclical nature of the depreciation. But the saving grace is that in 2025 alone, through the instrumentality of Gold Board, we saw an unprecedented $10 billion of forex repatriation, no Eurobond. This year, half year alone, gold purchases alone is about $16 billion. Yes. And you see, what Gold Board is doing now is that it is buying the gold in cedis and not in dollars. And when it is sold, the dollar is rather repatriated. So the dollar is not leaving.
It's returning to the jurisdiction.
Thinking outside the box. From the time of Don Diego de Azambuja, we've never had any such intervention for our gold. What it means is that that $10 billion would have been in the pocket of private people. Okay, this is what it means when we say thinking outside the box.
And that's translated positively onto the city and the prices we're talking about today.
Colleagues, with respect, look, we have not celebrated the work of Sami Jemfi enough. No. Keeping his eyes on the gold industry is what we've tried to do with cocoa for over 70 years. If we had started this initiative even 30 years ago, Ghana would have been far, far, far better. Because you see, if you pick a country that is import dependent, almost everything you have is what? Imported. The exchange rate becomes the most important indicator. You are paying your debts. Do you pay your debt in cedis?
I pay them in dollars, external debt in particular.
Exactly. Look, let me tell you something. Next year, debt service and loan obligation is about 57 billion Ghana cedis. Okay. 57 billion Ghana cedis. Now, imagine if you are paying a debt of $3 billion at an exchange rate of 15. How much is that? Do the permutation for me. 13, you are paying your debt $3 billion. At 15 Ghana cedis, how much is that?
Wow. I mean, there cannot be an argument.
Hold on.
Right?
Hold on. 3 billion at 15 Ghana cedis. Today, you are paying at 11.35. Do you know the savings alone? Just because you have stabilized the city, the savings alone that you've made, you can use it for free SHS. You can use it for LEAP. This would have gone into what? Debt service. Look, you see, when we the politicians come and we are done, you interrogate them now.
I mean, and I'm not cutting you, but even somewhere last year, right?
$3 billion times 15 Ghana cedis.
Somewhere last year, even without external debts being paid, the debts was chalked by in excess of 10 billion by share numbers that
just
the exchange rate improved. In fact, the exchange rate's performance is what has supported a lot of the state-owned enterprises and their books. ECG yesterday released their financials, and you see that the exchange rate has done some magic in relation to that.
Because you see, the IPPs, first of all, the power purchase agreements are in kilowatt cents.
They are in kilowatt dollar related.
related. So when you are paying the independent power producers for power produced or generated, and they say, okay, we have generated maybe 200 megawatts compared to the tariff approved by PURC. By the time you are done, you see you are paying so much because it's dollar index. So when you stabilize the Ghana cedi, ECG will mobilize, because you see the power is produced in dollars but sold in cedis.
Yeah.
So you need to mobilize more Ghana cedis
to pay off.
So the stability of the cedi, the savings it has brought to this economy, you have no idea.
Fantastic.
You cannot underestimate that.
That's what basically bloats are.
Our debts burden as well, and that has been. In fact, I've been on the screen on
borrowing,
TV.
It's
borrowing has. It's always pegged to the dollar, right? Energy. Just as we round up, particularly on the fuel and the conversation, fantastic initiative, intervention, and all of that. But at the heart of it is a conversation as to how do we not return to conversations like these and having government to intervene. It shouldn't always be a slash in terms of margins and levies and others.
Can I tell you something? U.S. has been accumulating reserves, crude reserves, for over 50 years. In fact, in the middle of this crisis, the International Energy Commission released 400 million barrels of accumulated reserve to cushion the impact. U.S. alone released about 120 million barrels. It got consumed within a month. Today, as we speak today, with the greatest of respect, if you pick the price of a liter of American, they call it gas, petrol. Before the war, it was $2.80. Today it's almost $5. You can call anybody in America.
I mean, they are feeling it in the US as well.
So I am saying that no matter how much reserve you have, depending on the crisis, it can make nonsense of the reserve. So I do not want to dwell so much on the question of reserve accumulation. It all depends on. But again, what I believe that government together, and I sit on an authority that's supposed to advise government on the way forward. We have issued some papers and others, and we strongly believe that the people who have the final say will look our way.
And who are these individuals who have the final say, who are supposed
Obviously,
to do that?
the people who have the final say. MPA is subject to policy directions and directives from central government. We don't sit on our own. Ours is to implement government policies and directives.
After the 1 month, what next?
You know, like I said, in this particular window, the average that we pick, we're doing plus or minus $130, $1,300 per metric ton. But today, a metric ton had fallen to 1,200. And if this continues in the next 10 days, if this continues fall, it will significantly impact maybe a reduction. Now, you notice that I've been observing President Trump, who had given an indication that he had paused the
firing and all of that
again, and that Oman and some of the Gulf countries. In fact, according to him, he had spoken to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, MBS, who had given he gave him an option, whether continuous bombing or diplomatic solution. And according to him, the Saudi Crown Prince believes that diplomatic solution. Because you see, the Iranians have also adopted a strategy of retaliatory attacks Obviously, from Tehran to California, which is closer, you need almost 11 hours of flight.
Any missile can't possibly be intercepted, and so
you
they are
need a missile
targeting.
that would have to travel from. So the Iranians have adopted a strategy of rather going against those who have offered sanctuary to the Americans. And so I think there's a collective distraction. And so reasoning is beginning to prevail. And I'm very hopeful that, in all of this, I am minded to associate with Martin Luther King Jr. He said there's no better option to cautious optimism. We will be cautiously optimistic in the circumstance. But I want to say thank you to the president for the relief. For every gallon, the government is absorbing 9 cities.
Yeah.
For every gallon.
For a gallon, it's 9 cities. For a liter, it's 2 cities, yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
And we saw that subsequently as well, the price floor was reviewed after that announcement came forward as well. And it's to reflect in relation to that. Right. As always, appreciative that you can make time to speak to us here in the studio. That's Eduji. Gordon Eduji Tamaklo. He's the CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, who joined us in studio, providing a bit more in terms of insight as to this. And so we know it's margins, right? It's not directly government taxes and all of that, which are being affected. Let me round up the conversation with Benjamin Insia and Riverson. Ben, we've been hearing from the end. Yes, they are still on the line.
It's only fair that I express my warm regards to Benjamin Insia. They are the.
Kindly speaking to.
My warm regards to Benjamin Insia and co. They are the CSOs within the downstream and the energy sector. We appreciate the feedback from them. We believe that we don't know it all. And at all material time, when we have constructive feedback from them, we will take it, we will shape policy, we will shape our actions in the authority. So I want to appreciate what they are doing.
Fantastic. Mr. Insia, you have the final word, as commendations have come towards you as well this morning.
Yes, I think that the CEO of MPA, Mr. Joji Tamaklo, is right. The city has performed tremendously well, and the reason why is not seeing prices surge. But we all know that also the city is not a static emotion of depreciation. It appreciates and depreciates at all times. So one thing I think MPA we need to address as a country is how to insulate ourselves from being price takers, because these prices are quoted on the international market, as he mentioned, and we as a country just take the prices from these international sources. So now that we are scaling up refining, I think that in the medium term, we need to stop being price takers so that it insulates ourselves from some of these external prices that is likely going to affect our economy. Beyond that, I think he mentioned some prices in America, and I was just looking at the data and realized that at even current, with even the relaxation of the margin, still diesel price in Ghana is more expensive than that of America. So it also means that there are certain information that must be known to either OMCs or BDCs, especially with respect to the supply premium he mentioned from 50 to 250. I think that there's a lot of hidden info in there where some of the BDCs take advantage of the system and then surge or hide some of these premiums because if you're able to, as we are able to know the industry margins, we are able to know the fiscal policy or the taxes and levies on the build-up. I think we should also disclose all the cost elements of the supply premium so that at any point in time we could measure that abroad to see whether our BDCs are taking advantage of us or not. Because 250, I think that's on the higher side that we need to address that particular problem. But as I indicated, I think as a country, how do we insulate ourselves from some of these external prices? Something that as a regulator and the Minister of Energy and Grid Transition, and as well as other industry players, COMAC, Seaboard, and CSOs must sit to draft a better policy position that will ensure that Ghana doesn't become a price taker from some of these international benchmark pricing agencies.
Right. Ben, I appreciate you joining as well and for the thoughts. I'm sure there'll be a bit more in terms of conversations as well. That's Benjamin Insia. Is Doctor still with us? Doc, you've heard the NPA CEO as well, says that a lot of the concerns will be addressed in that meeting. Are you satisfied and do you look forward to it as well in rounding up?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, just a few seconds. All the two gentlemen have done justice to the topic. It's a broad topic. Set topics when having it, I mean, in an open area, just careful choosing your words right, because the public might not understand what you're talking about and misinterpret it. So just to add on, we are looking forward to that meeting. We as OMCs, we've suffered a lot. I mean, bumping into such violent pricing from the BDCs, and I believe that it's high time we understood that if we are doing a 2 weeks window, we are doing daily window. Then there's no need to jump on the first to 15th and 16th to the end of the month kind of pricing windows. And then we know that, yes, the system is volatile and we are dealing with that. But if not, then please we need to go back to what we know do best. And that will sustain the business and also consumers will also be happy. Thank you.
Right. Doc, I appreciate you as well. That's Dr. Rivers Inopo, is the Executive Officer of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Company, speaking to us this morning here on the 3FM Sunrise.
The nation is full of surprises.
Mr. President Mahama Bayo Betty so full and so now uja 16 nanado kono uja 16 ana Mr. Mahama Betty so by 13 and obedi dacte your transportation by 15%. But look at this, what if 15% no full and increment no or the above 4 times, even last week or two times, but 1 person across to transportation, so that's very poor. Very poor because Esiano Ejumano obeye correct. Buche beto 1.5 area ko asalibucha babako. But scanner etwa se wunya no wunya kopim say yate fair no so but fuel no so no ewo still na ewo high
into the 2 cedi na yate so no moamo
madam yentimi ka say moa fine wate so yentimi nya ho hwe but de ye hwehwe baby say ano ye fuel na wotu ne de o man na ekonanim wo de won tumu nko ye mfa ho but the increment of transportation is what we need.
Into no near here, Monday say, move increase transport fares. And yes, say a better for on the so.
That one day, me, I say, I know they are shut down, so better soon. But me, transportation now, over to soon here.
Into first Nanka in a day, no way saying, walk around how many times?
Oh, Bochedi, Ubetimiako 5. But say, Oko, or at first, and another administration, auto diesel 120 cedis. Ubetimidia ko 1.5 trip. But right no auto diesel 150 cedis untimi fan ko even 1 trip no kra.
Me da say.
Okay. Enti ehwe ye de o yenim so marry mu driver for yenkuta degree yenkuta PhD. But yadwuma na ye na so mpa ye so man no so mpa pa enti pa mo chew. Yes pa nam TV3 so na Mr. Mahama wonti na increment no is very important. Yeah, say obey increase diesel now. We don't care about that one. But increment of transportation is what we need. Of late, obey deducting 15%. And or diesel, you see our baby increment here, equal 19 and ra. But no probably no. Man said that 17. Fine. 17 I don't know. It doesn't bother. But yes, sure say 50% no be deducted from transportation. No. Say increment be back on transportation now. It shouldn't be that same 50%, nor 20%. At least it should be 30%.
30%. You me show you. Yeah, that is all near Kasa. So some drivers are asking for an increment in transportation prices in spite of the drop in diesel prices this morning. I want us to talk to the station master now here at the Circle New Plan Station to find out his thoughts on this as well. Station master, me Pacho, good morning.
Good morning.
Pacho, Bodi Mayen.
Whatever was Sir Kwame.
Mr. Sir Kwame.
Medina Station was having.
Okay. Me Pacho, so what to say? You have to see this also 2 cities.
But I'm about 2 cities and come here. 2 cities what to say. Four. What the 2 cities are? Tie and Teso, Swapas and Teso. Yanti Latisi Beso, Yanti Lad Beso, Yanti Water Beso, Bibiani Ateso. Then you met someone there, Mukanza Bayapancho, until the first matter for Umbre. Or the old day, what Bonya, who's going out to Fokan. Kauna for the Musis, Ambe. The Kakama Kanza Banze, a Pancho onto the first matter. Therefore, Nankoso Karamzo, Umpomonia Choponi.
On to Sumbasing.
Oh, that's 30%. That's your money, I get Panza.
That is so 15% first time.
And then Muga enthusiasm, Muga to a lot of 2 times. Every accommodation at the ACD. 80% ACD, and yet, what traffic comes out accommodation about. And yet, the more I want to Canada for so many of point. No more in the mouth view. Mutual Bay, what a bay there in a room. Car crown for Tumbutum. And then go you.
Until she said 2 cities now at Sono and Boakra and Bakakra.
Madam, dear, Omunkakra, Moyakra, and your Moy, and Fabiama, and Moy. Lord Fera Montesuma, Combe, Omonteswa. Talk to them, may call Doko, may call Madame Johnson, may call Sakama Johnson, in Ombajai. And then they go for a short run. They don't feel accommodation to ACD, and yet, yeah, I do ACD, yes, or short tribute. Obi fi ako Sankara, no go dia be 5 city, 10 7 dia 5 city. Na ko Siasi o dia 5 city. Bo do adan wo ka be 30 city. Ndenye omo tu mo ya, obi abeko straight. Basia for na wo mre, nyina wo mre anapa. Ombe jina fa ko sa, omo 10 7 to Accra. Enye madam. Mbuni aban kasa ma e pamcho.
Yeah, that's the pa. Yeah, that's the station master. Brapa Chef Rosing.
Na Flame Kofi Asale.
Where driver was? Come Madina.
But I want to ablem to new ablem to circle.
Now, see, 2 cities now if it is also no. Who is saying?
Oh, my Mumbai and Quenim, Koyibe 3 city cry, Kababwa and Adawa for. But 2 cities no, you need there. I'm why I'm Quenim.
Na se adaba ni bu na ye no mukasa no mo se anka yen to lorry fe ni mu emu anka enu mom na mo pe
si yen tuma na ban ntiase na ofa yen tum kakra ayensa anna ba boaye ba si ade enwaye kura
petrol na yɛtɔ ne boɔ den dodo nti yɛbɛpɔn ne yɛnya hwee nti aban no nte aseɛ ne yɛfa kakra nka ho.
All right, it appears the sentiments are the same across board from everyone we've spoken to. They're asking for increment in transportation prices instead of a decrement in the diesel prices, or otherwise they want the 2% to be revised to the 2 cities, I beg your pardon, to be revised to 3 cities or 5 cities. Let's talk to more drivers, and then we'll talk to some passengers about the increase, the possible or the proposed increase in the transportation prices. Boss, what are you saying?
Medebojo Isaac.
But also a driver now.
Me driver name pa.
Na say what's it near driver for na you know makasa and pay air can.
And the ate nanso me the minimum one say o man no politics na say o man no because abedin be one say o man ye wo mu na ye leaders a edi o man ni nanim. Wontumi mfa o man ne nkose ne ye pe no.
Say na ye pe no.
Ye pen say ye nyina ya ho beto ye woman nim na abeba ne say leaders eniema wo ye nyina mfa kwam road a ye nam so nyina say wo Ghana me long distance driver me kwatakwa me kwa libo me fa ba bibia wo Ghana ha iso man ne ba bia say enti amada ba fo no so no ya ne GPRTU lol fare ye pen ye gire da me kan what me say before then ye free kwatakwa de ye 120 cedis. They say 140 cedis. You free a quarter quadri, just say, is there 170? A quality and Namusuno, and send out be free, I will do Takrado. None of my baby, I say, well, cow. Damican, what me I say? It is a man, I am more young, or being free baby, member.
Now, but what to say, Yatiti diesel so there? Diesel, Yatiti 2 city.
It is saying
2 city.
2 city in a baboy. I'm more inquiry. Anko babia eto ka chem ti ya to 2 cities ya enyan no na be confuse me madua ka chem se wo boa o man na we bibi ye papa mahama waye bi onko so ye se ne obeye na abeboa o man Ghana no mo politics na wo moye na adoso o man mu too much ye tumi nya de abeboa ado afu ye hiam wa wo hwadraba ni bia ye dwuma o call retirement ya o call for hiam o call ahotsere kasa na draba ni kom bisa papa ye fit started ye adwuma o Medina station enye nnasem adofo bebre dia were hu no wuo and bebre awu afri park we so a ene ye da so a ye wo park we so enti se ye tie no no enye na kasa kra ye modembo a ye se ye hu nkran ni nkran ni a enka station kra ka ba kra gagu acha se eniam ekoso no emoa ye ni benefit for adwuma nim ye ni bibia e bo driver fo wa brabo nim enti na na driver fo de na mu saa adane ye be za ebe de na nipa ntumi ndwane firi anu nkotra brochire uti o man we mu na ho tere utise na ndwane nkotra brochire eti mame media minim se mo ye media fo bo de mo nam na de bia ye so ye cancer mkira mo na to butere mu ota se me san ye structure a STC eti se me driver ni na me wura makodu sam pepe so na me hwe me nuado driver fo ya aye mobo ye mobo ankasa ya bo fo no wan na ebo ayen ite o mampani bi obabia no obedada yen no obedi yen ho mfaso no mo de yeska ye betre wonu mo saa adan ye papa mahama we de yesrew mo woni ko driver fo ho na sab driver fo ko strike wo ma we mu a in fact abayo how kese pa ite mahama no ni ko driver fo ho na so waka se kro de be mema driver fo ni bi kura fo wa campaign no be yadwuma no watuaka na se ka na be ne dia no so to de ahwe de yere na ne ma mfaso be ba so Yabe can what me say enti me srem bebre me so dem wasese mo tumi na mo ye ho ntabe ne ne kasa
Now he's talking about the welfare of drivers as well as the need for the government to consider other aspects of their job in addition to the reduction in diesel prices, which he thinks is not very adequate. He thinks that the construction of roads is important, consideration for spare parts prices is important, and other things that drivers need. He's talking about work and pay for vehicles for drivers to own, among other things. And it appears that so far, from everyone we've spoken to, the 2 city reduction doesn't really mean much. I'm going to try to talk to some passengers now and find out what their thoughts are about the 2 city reduction. If you have just tuned in, government has just announced, effective today, a 2 cedi reduction in diesel prices per litre. This means that if you buy diesel from today, you can expect that there will be a reduction of 2 cedis per litre. Pacho, good morning. Pacho, Efra saying.
Efra runs for the Buku.
Now, who are passenger?
Pacho, I'm a driver.
Also, you're a driver. Okay. Many passengers go kasa, but me no be kasansa. Me Pacho, 2 cedi na ye diesel price no who the same.
Oh, ababo abe who say abani to me from Kakrama and Kababo.
Emba from enko how much?
It's me to 1 litre 15 cedi, 14 cedi normal.
Sesi ano to ne saying.
Sesi ano ndo ameko na da 1890 something. Ebi so there da 1790 something. Total ne go ne share ne there ne awosoro. The star oil no na there na me hu say da 799.
Okay, into no sesi ano, o be say emba be 14. Ena wakandeng lorry fare nso e.
Lorry fare ne there senka etimba 14 ne there. Etimba 14 dia ka be manage lorry fare no. But say baby I done there. Definitely I was here too. Because I say first na me timide 25 liters cocoa for biaba. But say no just am to 28 liters. Until reach me some sika na me chok money na akodim.
Now we are driver how many years?
You are driver 15 years.
Na 15 years ni na we should say they are new city say and say they first na new city and it's saying.
You know who say aban abatwa mu dia na me hu say na omo dia na ekon so omo dia ko 22 cedi ko within coronavirus time. You got 1 litre 22 cedi ana eba 17 cedi and so na ye election na ma joma ma abete take over. But they say dem hu so mba who manage bet to kono mo say akoso amanone no am afeti nti me hu say no esa akoso.
Me da se bebre.
So mo hwe man na amla fom.
Ensamba fom bi.
E be manage friend but say na tie dia wo say so e kakra kan ho. E be da masi.
Yes, yeah, that's it. All right, now we'll go over to the loading buses and then talk to some of the passengers who are already in their cars. And we're talking about the increase in, or the decrease rather, the 2 cedi reduction in diesel prices. All right, this car is full. Let me just go over to the window. Pacho, good morning. Pacho, you TV3, it's me Okasa. You TV3, it's me Okasa. Pacho, you're saying.
Me the Prince Nana Bekan. Prince Nana Bekan. Oh, me teach.
Pacho, yes, it's say atiti a diesel so by 2 cedis. What's it?
Pacho, me see. Yeah.
But I driver for the say na ya diesel so no. I was say omutumi to a transportation price so say ofa trotra. I be so mutum. What one is saying?
Pacho enya kra.
Say what you say wo coin.
Say me ko Madina. Me ko Madina me chia ACD. Yeah.
It's almost anka I was say tumba be 10 cedis. What one is saying?
Pacho mom soon because even make us say you don't do cramp on a lot of fence of oya refer to Madina no you share 5 cedi but say you don't media or much more than 5 cedi if you are to make 10 cedi if you are to make 15 cedi which is very bad. Yeah, and say yes, say your friend says I don't know more you know your mumbashena or more jay send a beya yansu your home high because it's we are still no I had pa yeah.
Okay, all right, so there you have it. The passengers say no. Pacho, good morning. Pacho means we know Akasa. Okay, all right, no problem. All right, Intino. So the drivers are asking for an increment in the transportation prices, and the passengers are saying that it's not the best idea at the moment. What are your thoughts? Let us know. We're here because the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has directed that there be a decrease in diesel prices per litre, 2 cedi decrease per litre. And this is to help cushion consumers, drivers, and transport operators. The drivers say that this 2 cedi decrease would not do much for them. They would like at least a 5% or a 5 cedi decrease. What they, however, need is an increase in transportation prices because of the previous decrease. They think that they need about a 15% increase in transportation prices to cushion them so that their transport business will thrive, because at the moment it's not going very well for them. And one of them actually said that a lot of them are dying in poverty after so many years working here at the Circle New Plant Station. What are your thoughts? Let us know. My name is Nash Shoko, coming to you live from the Circle New Plant Station in Accra.
That's Nash Shoko from the New Plant Station. Pretty much stayed on fuel and what the drivers have made of it. They don't seem particularly enthused. They believe a lot more can be done, should be done about this for them by government. Helen.
A mixed bag there, but like you said, Mauna, a lot more people saying, oh, it should have been 5 CDs absorbed by government. And I mean, I'm sure somebody, if you ask them, they'll even say 10 CDs, 12 CDs. Of course, we all want the prices of these of fuel to go down even further. But like we did at the beginning of the conversation, examining what actually goes into that price build up, what are some of the factors that one must take into consideration when heading to the fuel pumps, is we talked about the exchange rates, what are the levies that are slapped on the price build up, and so on and so forth. So it's a more nuanced conversation, but any reduction certainly is welcome, and we keep a keen eye on what this development means. Some of the transport operators, you heard from them saying, well, okay, this reduction is not bad, but what about the price of spare parts and other inputs? So maybe they are still lacing their boots to slap us with an increment, even though government is seeking to absorb some 2 cedis on the price of diesel. So certainly watch this space keenly.
Most certainly. Time for us to run out of the studio at about now.